Hello and welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 320th episode of the Dean Withers Show. If you've never been here before, let me tell you what we do. We debate Trump supporters. We try to get them to change their mind, go from the wrong side of history to the anti-Trump side of history, because Trump is the worst president of my life, their life, and your life. I would expect that a majority of the viewership are definitely return viewers. Y'all know what we do, all right? Y'all know what we're about. And every day before we hop into those debates, we also like to go over the breaking news. And today's breaking news has a lot to do with AOC's appearance at the 62nd Munich Security Council earlier today over in Europe. She exposed Trump in front of the world, and it was great. We're actually going to go ahead and listen to a clip of AOC at that security conference right now, talking about authoritarianism, consolidation of powers, and geopolitical affairs that she sees as a threat on the global stage, coming from America, most notably Donald Trump.
The climate accord is it the Iran. Just a 20-second follow-up, really, just quick. Are there any particular institutions that a Democratic administration would want to save? Like your voters, is it NATO? Is it the climate accord? Is it the Iran nuclear? Are there some things where, just give me a lily pad.
Well, you know, first and foremost, I think we need to revisit our commitments to international aid, not just USAID, but the dozens of global compacts that this current Secretary of State and President Trump have withdrawn from. They are looking to withdraw the United States from the entire world so that we can turn into an age of authoritarians that can carve out the world where Donald Trump can command the Western Hemisphere and Latin America as his personal sandbox, where Putin can saber rattle around Europe and try to bully around our own allies there, and for essentially authoritarians to have their own geographic domains. And it actually is the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It is our global alliances that can be a hard stop against authoritarian consolidation of power, particularly in the installation of regional puppet governments.
And before we heard AOC talking about the threat of authoritarianism that we see rising here at home in the United States of America, with Trump wanting to basically use North America as a sandbox, she spoke at length about the gloomy threat that this ultra corporatism poises over this country, where instead of having duly elected representatives calling the shots that we put in Congress, we now have these self-employed CEOs of these major corps calling the shots and dictating the lives of the working class, working towards that authoritarian end goal of having the elite class and the non-elite class with a larger wealth distribution between the poor and the rich, and larger levels of inequities between the quality of the life and the poor and the rich, and how the complex geopolitical affairs that Donald Trump is engaged in, like wanting to launch war on our allies, gain control over Venezuela, then threatening that same thing against Mexico, Cuba, Colombia, and many other countries, poses insofar as this rising threat of authoritarianism. And I would actually like to talk about that a lot today with the guests that we're going to have up on this live. Authoritarianism and how authoritarianism has worked its way into the core identity of MAGA and the core identity of Trump. I mean, not only do we see him wanting to use, as AOC said, a lot of North and South America, Latin America as his own sandbox, but we also see him launching an attack on our Constitution, on our checks and balances, on our separation of powers, not just between the state level and the federal level, but also between the executive branch of our government, the legislative branch of our government, and the judicial branch of our government. We go over this every day. We talk about how Trump thinks that he's above the Constitution. This becomes clear through his executive orders. He thinks that he could just rewrite the 14th Amendment. He thinks he's above Congress. He just said, not even 48 hours ago, that if they don't pass an ID law for elections, then he's just going to nationalize elections, which is illegal in violation of states' powers and the second article of the Constitution, but also illegal and in violation of the first article of the Constitution, because now he's saying that he thinks that he could consume the power that is vested in Congress. He's launched attacks on many of our amendments, like the First Amendment, saying that it's now illegal to criticize him in Congress, the Second Amendment, directing his DOJ to try to find any way to ban any guaranteeing all gun ownership for law-abiding trans-American citizens. The 10th Amendment, in the opinion of the Supreme Court, which he likes to ignore, it was illegal for him to deploy the National Guard in states like Illinois. The 14th Amendment, trying to take birthright citizenship away from the children born to undocumented immigrants. The 22nd Amendment, entertaining a notion that maybe there's a way he could run for a third term. Federal law, and the 5th Amendment, by telling ICE that they could just arrest people under typical circumstances with no judicial warrants, raid and invade people's houses with no judicial warrants. And this is exactly what we should expect from somebody that has no respect for the law. And maybe this explains why in the 80s he was illegally harboring Russian mafia members in his states. In the 70s, he was illegally violating the Civil Rights Act, not renting to black people. In 2015, he was illegally giving Stormy Daniels money through business payments that he falsely labeled in the furtherance of concealing a second-step crime, leading to his 34 felony convictions. In the 90s, he illegally graped E. Jean Carroll, leading to the civil court adjudicating him as a rapist. He also illegally lied about the valuation of his properties to banks. He illegally concealed classified documents at his estate in Mar-a-Lago. Okay, illegally defrauded his own university and charity and was also held civilly liable for that. And because that, he can't open up a charity in the state of New York anymore, on top of a billion other infractions, and not to start on J6 or sexual exploitation of women and girls. This is a figure that thinks he is the end-all, be-all, and nothing is above him, regardless if he's a private citizen before the election breaking the law that exists on the books, or serving as our president from the executive branch, violating the Constitution, throwing it out the window, and in December of 2022, in fact, calling for its termination. And we already have our very first Trump supporter of the day loaded up and connected to the live stream right now. Josh had an opportunity to listen to that all. Josh, I'm going to go and pass the mic over to you. I want to get your thoughts on everything that we just went over with this looming threat of authoritarianism downstream from the Trump administration, and how Donald Trump just simply has no respect whatsoever for the rule of law, federal law, or the Constitution.
I love how you queue up questions, Dean, I gotta say. I don't even know where to start with that whole entire rant just now. Can we start with the E. Jean Carroll, though?
I would prefer to start with just what is your response to the general synopsis
to all of your stuff of
But if you want, I could kind of recapture all of what I just said as an argument.
No, you don't. For the love of God,
right,
don't do
it. Because that wasn't an argument pointed towards you. That was more so just like
I get it. You think Trump's authoritarian because of like 5 different amendments that you think that he's violating, correct?
Yeah, either has violated or is threatened to violate. With the most clear example of him violating an amendment. One moment. One moment. With the most clear example of him violating the amendment. One moment. With the most clear example of him violating the Constitution being the 14th Amendment.
Okay, we already disagreed with the 14th Amendment yesterday, didn't we? And that's when I left.
Yeah, and I don't think that we really had too much of a fleshed out conversation surrounding the nature of your claims. I would love to engage in like a legal conversation. The nature of my
claims of it not including illegal aliens.
Yeah, and I'd love to go into a legal conversation with you surrounding the historicity of that claim to see if there's any supporting evidence or evidence against that claim. So if you'd like to go over why you believe that the 14th Amendment does not extend birthright citizenship to the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, I'd love to hear you out and give you my counter rebuttal.
Okay, so... But we literally already had this conversation, and the disagreement is in the text.
We had this conversation.
Nowhere in the text says anything about illegal aliens, and that's what the conversation was. You argued that it does. I argued that it didn't, because you can't just come over across the border and pop out a baby, and your baby is a citizen. That doesn't work in any other country.
So nowhere in the text
would it work here?
One moment. Nowhere in the text does it say anything about citizens either. It doesn't explicitly state citizens. It doesn't explicitly state legal immigrants. It doesn't explicitly state undocumented immigrants. And that's why we rely on the interpretations of courts.
It doesn't state immigrants, bro.
Exactly. Right? And that's why we rely on the interpretation from courts, most notably the Supreme Court, which has the ultimate and final say insofar as how we're supposed to interpret
I know.
The Constitution.
We talked about this yesterday.
For what it means and who it extends to. All right?
Okay. So... yeah, I agree. The Supreme Court should actually look into it again. Unfortunately, the only way that we can do it is by bringing up a court case with them, correct?
Well, I mean, actually, there's already many court cases that could be brought up to SCOTUS right now just surrounding the deportation of individuals born to undocumented immigrants on American soil.
And
But here's what I'll say.
Too.
I'll actually... I don't think that there's any ambiguity to the question, more so the statement that the children born to undocumented immigrants have protections under the 14th Amendment, since SCOTUS has already ruled on it. I'd point you towards two cases, U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark in 1897, and then Plyer v. Doe in 1989. In U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark, they strictly defined what it means to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof, which is the elusive part of the 14th Amendment, as being no more or less comprehensive than being within the jurisdiction thereof. And then they also said everybody is subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America unless you are a foreign embassy with immunity. Emissary, with immunity, or you're a member of a militant force from an invading country. And then in the Plyer v. Doe case, SCOTUS actually ruled that undocumented immigrants are within the jurisdiction thereof, and therefore subject to the jurisdiction of, and therefore subject to constitutional protections under the 14th Amendment, including birthright citizenship, which is why there's no legal ambiguity to the claim that Donald Trump's executive order contradicting the 14th Amendment and attempting to take citizenship away from the children born to undocumented immigrants is blatantly unconstitutional and pulling from this dictatorial playbook where he believes he's above the law, including the law.
I don't know why you keep doing this. Okay. You don't have to repeat yourself so many damn times, bro.
That's actually the first time I said that about.
I just woke up, so like I'm a little rusty today. But Dean, I have no idea how you can make these claims, especially when we're literally looking at it subjectively. I think you would agree that this is a subjective argument when it comes to illegal and the 14th Amendment.
No, I actually disagree. But
it isn't actually in case law. It isn't birthright citizenship is legal. That's not a thing.
I don't know. Could you repeat that statement? About the subjectivity and the objectivity part, I actually don't think that this is a subjective debate that we're having about our own opinions, but rather there's a level of objectivity to this conversation because we're looking at what case law has said, and we're looking at what the Supreme Court has said. The Supreme Court possesses this prescriptive ability to interpret the Constitution.
Oh my God.
And because we have case law that is undeniably proves that there's no ambiguity to my argument and that I'm absolutely correct when I say that the children born to undocumented immigrants are citizens, you don't really have a leg to stand on in this debate. Jade, thank you for the galaxy.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I don't have a leg to stand on this debate because I'm debating somebody that literally thinks that illegal aliens just have the right to pop out babies into the U.S. soil and then them being allowed to be U.S. citizens. If we actually allowed that in our country, then what's to stop so many other people doing that? It doesn't make any sense. And you and I both know that the law was originally there. Oh my God, wait a minute. That the law was originally there because of slaves' children, right? So that they could get citizenship after the abolition of slavery. Like, we both know that's why that's there. So why are you then extending the arm out to people that come to the country illegally? They're not here. They're not in the jurisdiction of already the United States of America. They're not. They're in the jurisdiction of Mexico. They're in the jurisdiction of El Salvador. They're in the jurisdiction of Venezuela. They're not in the jurisdiction of the United States until they step foot on here, right? And that's your argument. You're saying as soon as they step foot on U.S. soil, then they're in the jurisdiction thereof the United States. And that would just be completely incorrect.
Well, I mean, you're wrong, and SCOTUS has said you're wrong. Plyer v. Doe, they explicitly ruled that undocumented immigrants are within the jurisdiction thereof.
Then we need another court case because that's very clearly not in the language of the Constitution.
Okay, so then you're not saying that Donald Trump's executive order was legal. You are agreeing that it violates the Constitution. You're just arguing that you agree with the violation because you disagree with the current interpretation of the Constitution.
No.
Okay, so then what is the legal argument that undocumented immigrants are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof?
Okay, give me the court case, Dean.
Plyer v. Doe, Plyer v. Doe. That was 1989. Undocumented immigrants challenged local politics, and which did not allow their children, who were also undocumented immigrants, to access free schooling K through 12. They
That's
argued
not.
that
Wait,
that was
whoa,
in
hold up,
violation.
hold up. That's
One
not
moment.
what this is.
Playa
No, that's
Vido.
you're wrong though.
Yes. No, I'm
Yeah,
right.
no, this was about denying free public K through 12
Yeah.
education to children based on their immigration status. This is what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yes, I am. I could explain. And in fact, I
Okay,
was in the middle of my
give me a second.
explanation.
Give me a second. A 5-4 decision. All right, 1982.
Right, and I'll just continue with my explanation. So then the
I see
undocumented
what you're
immigrants.
saying.
So then the
Under
just
the
allow me.
14th Amendment are within the jurisdiction of the state, making them entitled to equal protection over the laws.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dog just being super impatient in the background, but
No, I can, but I mean, it looks like you just like read out exactly what I said, right? Yeah, that SCOTUS ruling that undocumented immigrants.
no,
are
this
within
is
the jurisdiction.
disingenuous.
No, you read it yourself.
No, because
I'm not being
this
disingenuous.
case is literally going for K through 12 education, and then sure, I will say that you're correct that when it comes to they're using within the jurisdiction of the state in this court case under the 14th Amendment. That is
Right.
true.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Because what's relevant
But
here?
this
Let me explain.
isn't.
I'll
But
explain.
this no, you don't need to explain because I wasn't done talking. Right. Okay, for sure. This isn't saying that under the 14th Amendment, kids here undocumented are at a legal status. This isn't saying that birthright citizenship is legal. This is just saying while they're already here, they're within the jurisdiction of the state. So we will grant free K through 12 education. That's a totally different point than what you were previously making.
So it's actually not, because of the argument that you were using to dispute that the children born to undocumented immigrants are citizens. So this court case ruled that in accordance with the third section of the 14th Amendment, undocumented immigrants are within the jurisdiction of the United States of America and therefore have protections under the third subsection, which would be the Equal Protections Clause. Now, the argument that you were using just a matter of maybe 5 minutes ago in an attempt to argue that the children born to undocumented immigrants are not citizens is because they're not within the jurisdiction thereof, and that would be one of the two necessary pre-qualifiers for attaining citizenship under the first subsection of the 14th Amendment. Now, see, my refutation, wrapping in Playa Vido here, is to demonstrate that SCOTUS has already adjudicated that undocumented immigrants are within the jurisdiction of the United States of America. Therefore, they actually would meet the two necessary pre-qualifications in order to receive birthright citizenship, given that they're born here, that being that they're born here, and that being that they're within the jurisdiction thereof. Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I was saying, hey, dude, fuck, I kind of have to go. Can we have a conversation in a little bit? You can smile all you want, but I'm having a little bit of a problem over here.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk
And
later.
it's the same. The funny thing is, it's the same argument that I left yesterday, and I get it, but you know, I do have a life, and my life is currently needing attention at the moment.
No, I get you. Yeah, we could talk
Okay.
later.
Okay, I will actually come back in the feed when you have like fucking 80 people in there and I have to spam guest request.
Right. No, man.
Yeah, popular
Well,
guy.
Appreciate you for coming up, and happy Valentine's Day, dude. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go and move on to the next guest. Before we do that, there's one person over on Super Chat that I want to thank. Full Band, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, I wonder what this caller's law interpretation credentials are. Right? Well, I appreciate you for the $20, Full Band. The only reason why I want to ask that question is because I have no credentials to interpret the law, and I'm over here like jamming case law down his throat. Like, I think that you could like fairly reasonably interpret law, given that you're doing so with enough information and objective as possible, like without being a lawyer. Okay, but like obviously, right, that is going to make you significantly more credible if you are a lawyer. Thank you. I appreciate you for the $20, Full Band. Show some love to Full Band down below in that chat. Let's get to it at Full Band W's. Welcome into you, Sport Trump.
Yo, are you one of the Jews that rule the world?
Ah, man, dude, just constant like victim complex coming from people like that. Their life sucks so much, so then they just turn around and blame it on Jewish people. Like, dude, listen, unbearable. No. So Jewish people aren't a monolith. Saying that Jewish people run the world is a very prejudiced, anti-Semitic trope. So we're gonna move on to the next guest. Hi, do you support Trump? Amelia?
What?
That is a child. We talk about this often. We're very like pro-Palestinian in this live. I am. I fucking hate the state of Israel. But I just feel as if in like the last year, 2 years, 3 years, there's just been such a stark increase in anti-Semitism because of the bad actions of the state of Israel. And like, there's a lot of people that don't have enough brain cells to separate the state of Israel from literally all Jewish people alive. Welcome and Gabe. Do you support Trump? Well, that's another kid. Guys, if you happen to be inside of that queue, make sure it's because you're an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please follow those rules for us. Please follow those rules for us. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah, I do.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2000. Fuck you, nigger. Jew.
Okay. Well,
bitch-ass nigger.
Yeah, this guy over here, Mr. Gabe, is once again saying that he's born in 2018, screaming slurs. Why is it that the people who come up here and scream slurs are just always so dumb? You also just make MAGA and the right look so bad, right? Because over here you have like a distinguished liberal that's just trying to have like legitimate dialogue with people in which politically disagree with him. And then we have like a bunch of Trump supporters coming up here being unable to engage in that dialogue. And then they just like get really angry, start crashing out and screaming slurs, right? And I feel like this is exactly why the Democrats are going to absolutely just crush the Republicans come midterms. It's because I think that the American people are really sick and tired of this perpetuant crash out that we see from people on the right when they just don't get it their way and people start recognizing and calling out the bullshit that we are seeing downstream from the Trump administration. But let's go and get the next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got Rosie loading in. Only hop inside of the queue if you happy MAGA. Rosie left too. We're still looking for that very first guest. We can't find him because there's not a lot of people that want to debate me. Like, I'm going to be honest. But right now we do have 11.2 thousand people hanging out with us on TikTok. That's the overall group of people that we're going to be pulling Trump supporters from. Can't really find any for debates right now. We got that next guest loading up in the box right now. We got Kirsten loading in. All right, Kirsten is not loading in. We're going to move on to the next guest, KP.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how old are you?
21.
What year were you born in?
2004, August 20th.
And do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, man. And before we hop into a debate, I want to thank like 4 people here. Jackson, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Who says, Jesus, not this guy again that had a work lol. Dude, Jackson, he was actually a lot like cooler today than yesterday. Like yesterday, man, I couldn't even get a word out. Today I could get a word out, which was, a little bit better. I'd also like to thank Ava for the $1 on PayPal. Mark, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Then Emma, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Over on Venmo, thank you so much for the $20. Lizzie, thank you so much for the love, who says the girl who's quote unquote suing you for making fun of her dead fish is doing a live stream asking if you support Dean to come up. Yeah, I've seen it. Just ignore her. Irrelevant. Taylor, thank you for the $5 as well. Billy with a 5 and Lois with a 5. Appreciate y'all for all the love and appreciation. Let's get 200 Lizzie W's down below in that comment section. Guys, I saw that he had his camera on. Did he do anything? I just automatically kicked him. Did he do anything? What did he do? Yeah, sure. Tell me what he did. He lifted up his shirt? Okay, well, I'm happy that we got him out. He was rubbing his nipples? Okay, well, I mean, so every single time somebody comes up here and then leaves, I actually, like, have their username. And, I mean, I'll happily, like, forward that to, a handful of people that I know at TikTok alongside a couple, like, prosecutors. Like, I'm not going to lie. I just want to point this out, guys. Right now we have a live stream of, like, 12.4 thousand people. There are minors watching this live stream. Okay, so when you come up here and you think that, you're being funny by like lifting up your chute, mooning the camera, exposing your naked body, and then making like sexually suggestive content by like rubbing your nipples, that is like highly illegal. And that could like legitimately get you on the sex offender registry. And it will get you on the sex offender registry. I mean, like soon you'll be having to notify your neighbors of, the fact that you're like literally a registered sex offender because of the nature of that, right? So like imagine that you like went to a child's park and you pulled down your pants and you showed them your ass, right? That's going to get you on the registry, right? You come up here on this live and you do it. It's the same thing. But because of the fact that, this is on the internet and like technically it crosses interstate lines with the different servers that connect you to me, it is not only a state crime, but it's also a federal crime. So you could be prosecuted at the state and federal level. In fact, I've even talked with people from TikTok about this. I've talked with an FBI agent about this. And I don't think that people understand, like what they're doing when they engage in those actions. And, I log your username. I have a list of everyone who's joined my live, and then the VOD is recorded as well. So, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
07.
Okay, sounds good.
07 December.
Somebody on the TikTok chat also just said it's not that deep. It is that deep. I mean, think about it. There's minors watching this live. We have people that join this live and expose their bodies. They are exposing their bodies to minors. It is absolutely that deep unless you don't think that exposing your bodies to minors in a sexually suggestive way is that big of a deal. But anyways, Ryder, go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump as president.
Gets deportations out. I support ICE. I support how he doesn't want men and women's sports.
Okay.
And he supports Christians more than the Democratic side.
Yeah, that's a crazily false claim.
Well, Kamala called her party larger than the Christian side.
I mean, I'm sure that there's like some additional context to that clip if that's something that she did say, considering the fact that she herself is a Christian. But I'd love to know where you're getting that claim from. Because when I look at the Trump administration and then I compare it to somebody like Kamala, I mean, I see Satan in the Trump administration for sure. And I see a lot of godly values espoused by, what would have been the Kamala Harris administration. And I could go through that if you'd like. I think that any good Christian should never support Trump.
Well, I do not like Trump as a person. I just like him as a president. I mean, I think he's made pretty good calls.
I mean, yes, listen, first and foremost, you can't separate the person from the president because the person is the president. And the underlying moral values that led him to rape women and sexually exploit girls are the same underlying moral values that guide him when he's drafting his policy. Now, when we're just looking at his policy, not looking at anything he's ever done in his own personal life, we see the same anti-Christian sentiment. Like Psalms 32 says, for instance, that the glory that you give to those that are less than you is the glory that you'll be given in the kingdom of God. We also see this theme reiterated in Matthew, where you're told to give to those that are lesser than you, and the way that you treat those who are lesser than you is the way that you're treating your God. And meanwhile, we see Trump saying, "Fuck you if you're lesser than me. I'm actually going to take your healthcare away. I'm actually going to take your purchasing power away. I'm going to take your food stamps away. I'm going to illegally refuse to pay out your food stamp benefits. I'm going to impose tariffs which disproportionately negatively impact you, on top of about $1 billion other things, quadruple whammy in the low income and low class in this country, which in the eyes of God is just a big middle finger to him, because Jesus believes and espoused all the values that I just went over, of focusing on giving back to the needy, helping the poor, not taking more away from them, starving and killing them."
Well, so do you watch football, Dean?
Yeah, for everybody in the chat saying that he's 16, I don't see any evidence for that.
I'm not 16. I don't even know anybody in here.
If you like to give me that he's evidence that he's 16, feel free, but only if there's evidence. Would you like to respond to what I just said, please?
So, yes. Oh, well, the reason I support or separate the person from the president is if you were to vote for the MVP of the NFL, right? You're gonna look at his stats, his wins, stuff like that. Well, that's what we did when we voted for Trump. We voted for the person, or we voted for the president.
You
not
actually,
the person.
Bad example, because if you're an NFL player and a court determines that you rape somebody, you get kicked off your team. You can't become an MVP NFL player if you've raped somebody.
Well, do you believe people can change, Dean?
I don't believe rapists can change.
Okay, well, can we talk about his properties as what he does as president?
Well, I did.
Why do you not like?
I just
Okay.
told you. I just told you. Even if we don't look at the person who he is and we just look at his policy, I gave you like a comprehensive, nuanced argument describing how his policy is anti-Christian, in violation of Psalms, in violations of the gospel, in violation of Matthew, in violation of Jesus' teaching. And that was just opening the door. I mean, I haven't even gotten over to his hateful, bigoted rhetoric surrounding the exclusion of who he deems as others and how that is so anti-Christian because of the fact that Jesus would have sat across the table from everybody. All right, like he tried to impose an absolute and total complete Muslim ban, banning all Muslims from immigrating into this country. Jesus would have sat across and ate dinner, sat across the table and ate dinner with a Muslim. I mean, we see Leviticus 32 verse, Leviticus 11 verse 32 through 34 says, okay, that the foreigners that reside among you in your land must be treated fairly and identical to the native born. Meanwhile, in the eyes of Donald Trump, if you're an immigrant here, you know, he treats you very unfairly. He illegally detains you because of the color of your skin, and he illegally deports you with no due process to literally be tortured and beaten in Seacot down in El Salvador, center for terrorists. Okay. He spreads propagandistic
seen
lies about
Obama's-
you. He says that, you know, the immigrants are the poison in the blood of this country. They're coming in here to terrorize people. They've escaped prisons. They've escaped gangs. They've escaped mental institutions. And they're here to rape your wife, eat your family, pets, and dogs, and kidnap your children. Like, these are all things that are true of Donald Trump's policy that are also consequentially anti-Christian. So please respond to the argument that I've granted you, rooted within his rhetoric, rooted within his economic policy, and rooted within his immigration policy that I've used just to prove to you that him and his regime are totally anti-Christian.
I agree. Honestly, I don't think Trump shows great Christianity, so I apologize for saying he was Christian. But you know,
But
I think
it
his
wasn't just
ISIS
him as a
good.
person. Once again, it's about the administration. It's about the policy.
Well, his policy isn't great either, honestly.
Okay,
But
okay. Well,
I
so then you want to defend it, saying that they represent Christian values. If Jesus were alive today, he'd never vote for Trump in a billion years.
Okay. So why do you not like ICE again? Because they send him to El Salvador and get tortured?
Yeah, the reason why I don't like ICE is because they've been murdering citizens in broad daylight, then being defended and labeled as patriots by the administration. They've quietly changed their policies to allow for constitutional violations. They racially profile, and they have no respect for human life.
Well, okay. So if you truly wanted a great future in our great country, America, why not go through the process?
Well, now you're not responding to the last reduction I gave you insofar as why I don't like ICE, the same way you didn't respond to the prior reduction I gave you insofar as why you shouldn't support the Trump administration, rooted within the fact that they're wholly anti-Christian, and if Jesus was alive today, he'd never vote for them.
Okay, I agree with you on the Christian thing. I shouldn't have brought that up. Trump isn't a good Christian. Jesus would not vote for him.
Should you do what Jesus does?
Yes,
Then you shouldn't vote for him
but
either. You shouldn't support him either.
Jesus wouldn't vote for Kamala either.
Okay, so
Kamala
then you're just saying
supports
that you think that you
abortions
should be
and-
positioned, okay, as a person that doesn't support the Trump administration, but also doesn't support Democrats. I mean, that's already one step better, okay, than where you're currently at.
I think Trump would have been much better than Kamala. I mean,
Why? Her
like
policy
Kamala,
represented values significantly closer in proximity to Christianity, like giving back to the poor, ensuring that the working class holds the purchasing power, ensuring that new families have money to ensure that their children are raised in a financially well-off household, ensuring that young Americans have more money to buy their first house with a grant of $25,000. Okay. Ensuring that we advance racial equality, ensuring that we advance equality regardless of what your sexual orientation is, your religion or your background, ensuring that we have a state that's free for all and not just free for the rich white man. Like, those values are significantly closer in proximity to Christianity, some being directly quoted in linear to what is told and preached inside the Bible, compared to the tyranny, the division, and the hatred that we see downstream from the Trump administration.
where in the Bible does it say it's okay to abort babies?
Well, that's actually a good question. So nowhere in the Bible does it say it's not okay to abort babies. In fact, there's many interpretations, particularly of Mosaic law in the Old Testament, that would lead to the conclusion that fetuses don't have personhood. They're viewed more as property. But I guess there is a place in the Bible that says it's okay to abort babies, and I can give you a direct answer to your question. Numbers 5:24. Would you like to respond?
Oh, I thought you were going to pull up the verse. What is the verse?
Numbers 5:11 through 31. It says it's
Yeah, what
okay
does it
to abort
say?
babies.
That's what it states?
Yeah, it does. I'll actually read it to you right now. Here we go. The priest is to write the curses on a scroll and then to wash them off into the bitter water. He shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings in a curse, and this water brings a curse and causes bitter suffering will enter her. The priest is to take from her hands the grain offering for jealousy, wave it before the Lord, and then bring it to the altar. The priest is to then take a handful of the grain offering as a memorial offering and to burn it on the altar. After that, he is to have the woman drink the water. If she has made herself impure and has been unfaithful to her husband, this will be the result. When she is made to drink the water that brings the curse and causes bitter suffering, it will enter her, her abdomen will swell, and her womb will miscarry, and she will become a curse. If, however, the woman has not made herself impure, but is clean, she will be cleared of guilt and will be able to have children. This is basically saying that God is okay for abortions for women who are married to men that cheated on their husbands in order to get pregnant.
Okay, well that's... What percent of that is cheated husbands?
Well, just to clarify, you are
I
okay.
agree with...
Yeah, I just want to clarify. You are okay with women getting abortions as long as they're aborting a fetus that was the creation of sex with men other than their husband.
I do not think it's okay to abort for just straight up pleasure.
But like in the circumstance of wanting to abort a fetus that you got from cheating on your husband, you're okay with that.
I only think abortion is okay if it was great.
Okay, so then you disagree with God.
I'll have to read around that verse. If it's in context, I'd be surprised.
Okay, well, tell me what the context is to prove me wrong here.
I said I would have to read around that verse.
You'd have to read it first. All right. Okay, well, you asked me the question, where in the Bible does it say abortion's okay? And I gave you an answer.
True.
All right, but here's a better argument. So which branch of Christianity are you?
Baptist.
Perfect. Yeah, you just read the Bible. Okay. Where in the New Testament does it say that any one sin is worse than any other?
It does not state that.
So you believe that all sins are identical in the eyes of God, like many other Baptists, right?
Sure, yeah.
So the sin of abortion is identical in the eyes of God as the sin of lying?
Well, murder is one of the 10 commandments, or 10...
So is lying.
I feel like murder is just bad, dude.
Sure, but I just want to clarify. In the eyes of God, the sin of abortion is identical to the sin of lying, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and your argument is that you think that we should ban abortion and make it criminalized, make it illegal because it's a sin, correct?
Yes.
So then we should ban lying, we should criminalize it, make it illegal because it's a sin. You should no longer legally be able to tell your children that Santa Claus exists every Christmas because that's technically intentionally telling them something that's false, which is definitionally speaking a lie. Correct?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't actually believe that, though. Unless you do.
No, I don't. I don't believe we should.
You don't believe that, right? So I guess my point here is that there's no clear way to run a criminal justice system on the basis of Christianity. There's just not. It's incoherent. It's illogical. And in order to do it, you have to cherry pick and you have to say that even though you think these sins are identical, we should only ban this sin, but we shouldn't ban this other sin. Okay, but like in all reality, okay, you saying that Kamala Harris is anti-Christian because although she probably thinks abortion is wrong because of her faith, she doesn't want to criminalize it, in turn is calling yourself anti-Christian because you think that lying might be wrong because of your faith, but you don't think that we should criminalize it. I mean, you guys are literally doing the same thing there, right? So in other words, here's what I'd propose. Okay, when we're looking at the country, when we're looking at the country's criminal justice system, we run that rooted on the basis of secularism. We do not run that rooted in the basis of Christianity, and that church and the state must must be separate in order to have any cohesive worldview, and which isn't logically contradictory, undeniably so, in less than 30 seconds.
Do you believe it's okay for men to be in women's sports?
So you're just going to completely ignore that all?
Can you say it again?
No.
Okay.
He left. All right, we're going to get that next guest loaded up into the box, y'all. Only op inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Here we go, folks. We got that next guest loading up in here right now. Only op inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Only op inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. I'd really appreciate it if y'all would do our best to follow the rules. Thank you so much. We got the next guest, Gingerbread Man, loading up into the box. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next guest, Gabe. Here we go. Hi, do you support Trump?
I do. Well, okay. I want to be honest. I did and did for a while, but with everything coming out and also things in the past that did come out, I always questioned it. And I see your stuff all the time, seeing the reasons and everything, seeing all that, and it gets me in a position where I start doing my own research, and it does scare me a little bit, but my family supports Trump very heavily, and the other side doesn't. And I'm kind of at the point where it's like, oh my God, all these horrible things are out, have been out. You can't really swivel your head around it, but I like what he does for America. How do I... It's very weird because it's like, he can't do anything because he's the president, but I support like what he does for America here. Like does that make sense at all? Like I hate him as a, I don't know if that's making sense.
Well, I mean, I don't really think it makes sense to make the recognition that he's an absolutely terrible, atrocious person, you know, adjudicated rapist, so on and so forth. But then you somehow still support him as serving in the most powerful ranking position of control.
Like I said, it's not necessarily like, oh my God, I support this dude 100%. It's the fact that I did, and I'm having like a hard time doing that now with all the stuff coming out, and I'm just kind of like in a hard spot due to like family positions.
Okay, no, I get that, man. Listen, I've been there before, you know, with being in a hard spot due to family, with supporting Trump or not supporting Trump. I mean, you know, all my family's MAGA. I'd say that the very easiest thing that you could do in this situation is just to lie about your family, about what you truly believe, right? Like, honestly, it is a net benefit to society for you just to lie to your family about what you truly believe, so you can like critically explore and critically think and explore truth surrounding why Donald Trump is a bad president and why you may not vote for him or his supporters in the midterms, right? While not creating any friction between like you and your family members.
Okay, and then another thing I want to ask you about the Epstein files. Do you think anything that has been unredacted or like come out about the Epstein file? Yo, put that anxiety.
One second. Somebody in the chat just said, "Wow, this guy is telling you to lie." Lol, I'm out. Gladys, people. That's their name, Gladys. You know, people get hurt. People get abused. People get ostracized. People get like pushed aside.
Bro just found out about Santa Claus today.
Aside, so on and so forth. Because of political disagreements with their family members, it is absolutely and unilaterally okay to lie to your family members about your differing political beliefs. I mean, like, we literally like just saw a dad blow his daughter's head off with a shotgun because that daughter disagreed with the dad surrounding that father's support for the Trump administration. So it is completely acceptable to lie, 110%. But Gabe, I mean, just to clarify here, it doesn't really sound like you support Trump.
It's like I said, I'm having a hard time kind of sticking firm with that statement. Like I said, I know morals, I know basic human rights, and I know that this is not what a lot of people voted for and see in Trump. It's kind of, it's almost like a cult effect. Like, fuck, it literally is like wrapping my head around the fact, like, yeah, I cannot support this dude anymore. Like,
yeah, man. No, I get you. I've been there too, man. So I stopped supporting Trump January 6, 2021, okay, because of the divisiveness that I thought he had been causing and was causing to the American people. And I remember, you know, like going through this like very interesting like psychological phenomena of like cognitive dissonance with making like the logical recognition that like he's a bad president, but like still yet I wanted to support him. Still yet, like I felt more comfortable supporting him because of my family also being MAGA.
No, that's exactly why. It just feels comfortable.
Right. Yeah, and I felt also more comfortable supporting him because I knew if I didn't support him, like I might be labeled as like weird or, you know, like like a loser by like, you know, my friends in school, because it was always kind of like a weird loser thing to like not support Trump. You know what I mean? You know, like all the liberals were just like really like weird, like blue hair losers. So
I know, and you're told like, yeah, they're gonna fuck with your life and like your car and shit. Don't be public about it. And then you look at, how that works out for the other side, and it's kind of the same thing. Also, put that anxiety vape down. There's nothing you have anxiety for right now.
it's called addiction. It's called addiction. But no, man, I get where you're at, and it's literally just like bias. It's pure pressure, and it's hard to work through. But I honestly think that you will, based upon what you're saying to me right now. I just say that you should spend your time kind of exploring these concepts more. I think that'd be very beneficial to you, and I think that by the end of the day, when you come out the other side of the tunnel, you'll probably be on the right side of history.
Okay, I also agree. Last question for you and Parker. This is very important. Parker, unmute yourself. This is important. Cowboys 2026 Super Bowl, yeah?
No, Broncos.
No!
Broncos, bro. Broncos all the way. Good luck, man.
Yo, Parker, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Sorry it took me a minute to get over here. I had like a conversation that lasted a while with a guy.
Oh, no, bro. You're good. I honestly thought that I got like the times wrong. That's why I sent you that text, because like I was confused if I got like the times wrong or anything.
No, that was me going a little bit over.
Yeah, no worries. Welcome in, Tracy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you support Trump?
No, not really. My main question would be.
I'm sorry, Tracy. Today we are just looking for Trump supporters. However, if you have a question, I'd highly recommend that you join my Discord. I think that we got some great people in there that are honestly really smart. I honestly, I direct everybody with questions to the Discord, because you're gonna have somebody who's super smart that's gonna be able to answer it over there. Welcome in, Gregory. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you? Oh, it's just you. You're up for the 100th and first time?
What?
Up for your 100th and 25th time?
I've never been up before.
Why do you just feel so comfortable lying?
What?
Why do you just feel like so comfortable lying?
I've never been in real life before, brother.
Okay. So why do you support Trump?
Because he has a strong border policy and he is not a radical liberal.
He's not a radical liberal. So you take authoritarianism over being a radical liberal?
Yes.
Okay, what is radical liberal?
The blue hair loons.
The blue.
Be specific. Be specific. Like
So
policy-wise.
I don't think he knows. I think he's just saying that having blue hair is objectively worse than like crucifying law and order and infringing upon the Constitution and consolidating power to one branch of government to oppress the people.
That's actually not possible under the Constitution, bud.
Well, the argument is that he doesn't care about the Constitution.
Yes, he
He's
does.
violating it. And why has he been violating it? Why did he call for its termination? Why is he disrespected and disregarded?
There's no proof of that, buddy.
That's what he posted on Truth Social in December of 2022. He said what happened in 2020, his claims about that election, would allow for the termination of all the rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution.
I mean, we can both agree that election was rigged.
I think this guy's rage baiting. I think that guy's rage baiting.
How's your debates been since you started, man?
Bro, honestly, I don't know. I just feel really calm today. I'm in a good mood, obviously, because it's Valentine's Day and I had a really good morning with my girlfriend. And I kind of feel like they've been pretty good because I've been so calm. Like that first guy that I had up yesterday that you ended up hopping into the conversation with, he came back up. And I drilled him. Not Brody. Josh. It was like the very first guest from yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. The Galaxy. Yeah, he came back up again. But like, I just, like I said, I feel really calm today. So I wasn't like too interrupty or anything. And I just completely like drilled his ass, completely fried him on the 14th Amendment. Like then he said, Dean, I gotta leave again. Like he just ended up like leaving midway through the conversation, just like he did yesterday, because I just got him in like a place where, he had no counter argument. Evan, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Drilled.
Fuck Israel.
Okay. Honestly, there's a lot of people on the right and the left that say fuck Israel. Are you a Trump supporter? Well, it looks like you just came up here to say that. All right, moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. Only up inside of the queue of your MAGA. Y'all already know what the rules are, so please try to follow them. What are we doing? All right, you're going to get banned if you don't follow the rules, quite frankly.
Oh my god. Hello?
Hi, do you support Trump?
I have a question for you.
I know, but do you support Trump?
No.
then you have a good rest of your day. Moving on to the next guest. I don't know really what's going on, folks. It's either you follow our rules or you just get banned, like, quite frankly. There's a couple people that I want to thank real quick. Connor, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Felipe, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Show some love to Felipe and Connor while we're trying to get that next guest up in here. Same thing with you, Cara. Thank you for the $5 who says thank you for what you do. I appreciate you, Cara. Then Vanessa, thank you for the $10 who says, Dean, thank you for your patience and your knowledge. I always rage clean when I listen to your debates. These MAGA clowns on live stream and the house has never looked so clean. Yeah, I bet that these live streams help you keep your house squeaky clean. Still trying to find somebody that's down to debate. Parker, how are your struggles with finding somebody to debate you? Because I'm not having too much luck.
The very beginning of my stream was bad, but after that little issue, because I had a few fucking issues, then it was fine.
Yeah. Hello, that MF. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do actually.
Feed us.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you figure that one out. You have about 10 years to figure that one out, so we'll worry about you later down the line. Amy, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for that love, Amy. I want to see 150 Amy W's down below for the $15. Happy Valentine's Day. Amy with the 15 says thank you for all you do. Well, I appreciate you. I hope that you're enjoying the live stream so far today. And thank you for this support. Same thing to Emma Mark. Thank you guys for the 5. And then Aria, thank you for the $5 as well. Welcome in, Spook. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
All right. You're also like 14, so goodbye. Follow our rules. They're very simple to follow. You just have to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Now, if you break those rules, you're going to get banned. I mean, no real exceptions today, as always. Definitely no exceptions ever for minors. So just stay out of that queue unless you're an American adult that supports Trump. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I am 18.
What year were you born in?
I was born in 08.
What month?
August 5th.
17. Moving on to the next guest. We got our next guest loading up in here. One Venmo just came through. Dakota, thank you so much for the $10 who says, thank you for everything that you do, Dean. Appreciate you spreading your knowledge. Oh, thank you so much for that love, Dakota. Show some love to Dakota for the kind words in the $10 donation. Stephanie, hi, do you support Trump?
Hello, yes, I support.
All right, guys, there's a bunch of kids in the queue. Can y'all stop ruining my stream, please? All right, just go scroll. Nobody, like, realistically, like, no one wants you here. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I hate to be that guy. Literally, no one wants you, like, in the box, all right?
You don't want screaming fetuses in the box?
Yeah, I don't want
any screaming...
I don't want any screaming fetuses. All right, fetuses, as you said, in the box.
Fetusi, okay?
Yeah, fetusi. We have so many fetusi. We have to pluralize the term because of how many there are. Nate, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
What's up? Yeah.
How old are you?
32.
All right, man. So tell us, why do you support this authoritarian nightmare?
So what's your definition of support?
Hard word to define. You like them as president?
Like, if you were going to vote today, would you vote for Harris or Trump? If the election were held today? Okay, there you go. So why?
So I think supporting someone doesn't mean I support every single inch and centimeter of decision that they make or personal choices in their life. I think I can support them for how they run the country.
Okay, how so? How is your, like, can you name a policy that he's passed that you like?
Well, the border wall's now closed.
Well, that's not true. They're actively still working on trying to get funding for the border wall. They built less than 50 miles under their first administration. And then when the Biden-Harris administration tried to build more of that border wall to compromise with Republicans in the bipartisan border bill, they proposed over 150 miles, 3 times the amount of border wall that was built under his first term. Trump then told Republicans to vote against it. And there's been an ongoing struggle for Congress to get more funding for the wall. We're over a year into his term, so that's just a complete made-up bullshit lie. Likely a talking point that you heard in 2020, and you've just kind of hung on to it ever since.
No, the border wall is very much closed. I don't know what rock you're living under. I don't know why you can't admit that.
Wait, you think there's a border wall across the entirety of the southern border?
No, I know there's not, but the crossings are down.
Way down. Okay. So crossings being down is how you determine it. Okay, so then do you think it was more secure when Biden actually handed it over to Trump than when he originally inherited it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just talking about right now. Right now, the crossings are way down, and that's a good thing. And I think too the pursuit of deporting illegals, that's something I support. And then
I
the child
understand.
tax
Well,
credit is pretty
let
cool.
me
I'm
let's stick on the
supporting
border
that. I
here for a
support.
second. Let's stick on the border
There's a
here for
few
a second.
things
Let's
you
talk
asked
about
me on.
crossings. I understand how, on its face value, okay, it's seemingly good that there's less undocumented entry, but I dispute that it's good that there's less undocumented entry because of the means that Trump has used to cause there to be less undocumented entry. They're very bad, and we'll get into that here in a moment. First, I want to give an analogy. Would you argue, on its face value, if a boss is able to increase his workers' productivity, that would be a good boss?
Yeah.
Okay, but like, what if that boss was able to increase their workers' productivity by, at the end of the month, every month, literally killing the least productive worker? Sure, that would still increase worker productivity. They have much more motivation to work harder now. Okay, but we still wouldn't say that's a good way to increase productivity. Therefore, that's not a good boss and they should be fired, right?
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
Yeah, so if you use like super extreme and immoral means to achieve this end of more productivity in the workplace, or in the real world, as we're talking about Trump, less undocumented entries, it's still yet not something that we should support. And that's exactly what's happening. The reason why we have less undocumented entry into America isn't because the Trump administration has implemented any good long-term effective border policy, but it's rather because they're abusing the human and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants that are already here. We see instances across this country of people being racially profiled because of the color of their skin or the accent/language they speak in. Okay? We see undocumented immigrants with no criminal record being deported with no due process, as many judges have ruled, to a place in El Salvador where they're literally getting tortured, being forced to kneel from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., and if they fall out of exhaustion, they're beat by the guards. We see 5-year-olds like Liam Ramos being held in ICE detention centers across this country, being fed food with maggots in him, throwing up because of its quality, then refusing to eat and becoming sick, even though Liam Ramos is a citizen and his father is a legal immigrant. This brutality, this heinous human rights abuse, this ignorance and violation of our Constitution is what has scared new entry away. And that's why border crossings have gone down. And that's also why we shouldn't necessarily support it.
So one, you do admit that it's gone down. You told me at the beginning that it wasn't closed, but I guess we'll move on from that. I mean, look,
We
man.
don't
I
need to
don't.
move on because my claim isn't that the crossings have gone down because the border's closed. My claim is that the crossings have gone down because Trump is scaring new entry away by heinously
All
abusing
right.
the human and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants and many legal immigrants and citizens that are already here.
So have the illegal immigrants decreased because of Trump? Is a yes or no?
Yeah, the same way that productivity in the workplace would have
All right,
increased
right
because
on.
of this boss that was killing the least
Sure.
effective worker at the end of every month.
Sure, but they're down, right? And that's what a lot of Republicans support, and that's what we voted for. And so,
So
obviously,
why are
look,
you
like,
ignoring the nuance of
he's
using
not going out
incredibly
killing
immoral
people.
means to achieve that end of abusing human rights and constitutional rights? Like, I feel like there's sincerely like very few.
You're
Let me
taking
speak.
maybe.
Let me speak. The real man's talking.
Well,
I feel
you've
like.
spoken a lot.
Well, I just have one more thing to say. I'll be quick. I feel like there's only a very small group of humans that are alive that can't conceptually grasp my comment that it is a bad thing for Trump to negate the Constitution, infringing on the constitutional rights of many, and abusing human rights. Those are not means that a president should be using to reduce undocumented immigration into this country. In fact, using those means only makes our country worse off, on top of being strictly anti-American, rooted within the fact that it is propped up on an abuse of the American Constitution, a neglect of federal law, and ignorance and neglect of human rights.
I think there's a small minority of people on the far right who probably get excited when crazy stuff happens, you know, like the Nick Fuentes people, you know, the country. But dude, for the majority of the people, no one wants anyone to die. No one wants anyone to get shot. That's not what we're about. But dude, when it comes down to it, like, the most important thing is me and my family. And when there's too many people in my state, it causes issues.
Undocumented
there's
immigrants
less
only help you.
jobs, there's less housing, it raises the prices for everything.
Nate, can I tell
And
you something
so-
interesting here that you're not taking into account? It's that when people come to the country, they don't just demand goods and services; they also provide goods and services. So it's
do,
it's
you're right.
multifaceted within
But
the
they do
context of
take
the market.
away.
So
but they take away.
not only do they
give
demand
and take.
houses, but they also build more houses as well. They increase this housing supply. So this whole argument that it increases housing prices is only true really for the short term. The long term, it's not true, and it's only true for very, very high levels of immigration in the short term, right?
Right. But both sides are speaking the same language. We both want people to come to our country because quite frankly, they probably do a better job than most white Americans do at building things. I'm with you there.
I don't know why you specifically just say white Americans.
Okay. All right.
White
Americans are here because that's the way you guys think, right? I know that's what you're thinking. But the thing is, like, I want people to come from other countries because we need them, but we just have to do it in an organized way. Like, you can't.
I don't
have
think
this
that
many
you
people.
care about that
Everyone
organized
agrees with
way.
that.
You don't care about that organized way.
Absolutely
you don't care about the law.
organized
You
way,
don't care
but there
about.
can't-
You don't
no,
know.
no,
You
no, no,
don't
there
because
can't be-
you just. I just gave you
Dean, there
a
can't be an
reduction
organized way to
in
get 'em
drill
out.
down. One moment.
There's
I
too
just
many
gave you a
people here.
reduction in drill down on how the Trump administration is with disorganization, infringing on the Constitution, breaking federal law, and ignoring human rights, and you just brushed it off your shoulder. I'm not led to believe you when you say that you care about the fact that undocumented immigrants are breaking the law by committing a victimless federal misdemeanor that's adjudicated in civil courts, when you're able to turn around and ignore the president and his administration infringing on the Constitution, infringing on federal law, and ignoring human rights.
So are you
Convince me
speaking on the
otherwise.
examples of Minnesota, or what are you talking about when he's like the extreme that you're talking about? He's killing people.
I'm speaking on
he's,
examples across this
throwing his
country,
Constitution.
including the murders in Minnesota, including ICE
so
revising
what-
their policy to allow for constitutional violations, including ICE illegally
Like
deporting
what?
people with no due process. Like arresting people without judicial warrants under typical circumstances, like barging into the houses of people in violation of their Fifth Amendment rights without judicial warrants. You know, like illegally deporting Abrigo Garcia, then having the Trump administration argue that he's going to stay there. Like illegally deporting 3 planes worth of Venezuelan immigrants with no due process.
The guy that
having
was
adjudicated
committed
by
a
a federal
sexual
judge.
assault?
Oh no, that guy's Trump, not
So do you
Abrigo
want?
Garcia.
Okay, but do you want people who
Exactly.
are
It's only a
criminals?
talking. When you
Do you
thought
want-
it was Abrigo Garcia, you brought it up as a talking point
Nate.
to ignore the fact that we broke
Look,
the law
Dean,
and
I
illegally
don't
deporting
care.
him.
Trump's
But
a
then when you learned that
you
Abrigo
can bring him to
Garcia
civil-
it was not guilty of sexual assault, but rather Trump is, you just say, okay, I don't care. Once again, just re-demonstrating that you don't care about sexual assault, you don't care about women and girls, you don't care about the law, you don't care about the Constitution. All you care about is furthering the MAGA narrative, and you're willing to burn down whatever gets in the way of that MAGA narrative, even if it's upholding respect for victims and survivors of SA and brutal, violent sexual assault, or lacking in adherence to the Constitution, throwing that out the window, or federal law, human rights as well. It's embarrassing. It really is. It really is. Like, I don't think that the last 30 seconds of our debate has encapsulated the MAGA cult unlike any other statement that's ever been uttered on this live. Okay, you said, "Oh, I don't care that we illegally deported Abrigo Garcia to literally be tortured in another country because you were under the supposition that he was found guilty of sexual assault." I clarify that no, not only has Abrigo Garcia never been found guilty of sexual assault, it's never even been alleged that he sexually assaulted somebody. Unlike Trump, who has over 50 plus credible accusations, including a civil court that found him guilty of rape. And then in response, you said, "Okay, I don't care." So which one is it? Do you care?
Yeah.
Do you not
'Cause you're-
care? Do you want to
'cause
uphold the
Dean,
Constitution? Do
'cause
you want to
you
burn
get-
it down? Because right now it
Look.
seems like you don't really have any principled ideological worldview here where you stand on your convictions
have
and
a-
apply them unanimously, but
Oh,
rather
dude,
it just seems
very
like you
principled.
have a cult that you will principally stand by and change your narrative to in contortion of reality whenever it requires it.
Yeah. The cult is my family, right? That's my principle. So whatever's gonna help me and my family, that's all I care about, dude.
Okay,
And
sure.
you know
So
what?
if
Meg's gonna
reimposing
get
slavery,
broken.
if reimposing slavery would personally benefit you and your family, would you support the reimposition of slavery?
No.
Okay, so got it. Thank you for conceding that you actually do care about other people. Go ahead, Parker.
Yeah, would you let someone held civilly liable of sexually abusing someone legally enter the country?
I don't know. I mean, listen, if they have to go through the process, it's not
What?
for me to decide.
Wait, if
I'm-
they're going
I'm
through
a
the legal
judge, like,
process
I'll make that
and
call,
you
but
get
that's
to
not-
wait, Nate,
Yeah.
if they're going through the legal process, you
If
get to
someone's
determine whether or
civil-
not
if
they're
someone's
allowed
held
in the
civilly
country,
liable, that doesn't mean
and
they
they
did it
have
or
been
not.
held civilly liable of sexual abuse. Would you let them into the country?
I'm not I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what that means.
Listen, Nate, listen.
I know what it means,
Listen,
but I don't
gave you
know
the
like
conditions.
the
Nate, I literally gave you the
nitty-gritty.
conditions. I have to repeat this because you didn't listen.
No,
Okay.
Tell me what what does it mean when someone's held civilly liable?
Yes.
You educate me. What did that mean?
Yeah, a civil court with a unanimous decision of 9 people determined that Donald Trump, based on preponderance of the evidence, forcefully penetrated E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will. And he was forced to pay millions of dollars because of that. The reason why it wasn't a civil case and not a criminal case is because of the fact that there's a statute of limitations in New York that says that after a certain amount of years that you can't try your abuser accountable in the context of a criminal court, which is ridiculous and shouldn't exist, especially in the context of sexual abuse, because it takes decades for many victims to come out because of plenty of the societal limitations in terms of stigmatization, people not believing them, people harassing them specifically just for coming out with their stories.
Yeah. Look, man, Parker Dean, you guys say this, I think, every day, 50 times a day, and maybe it just gets you going. I don't know. But how have you guys not thought of any other, like, talking points besides
Nate,
this?
we
like,
have plenty of other things to talk about.
It's a slam dunk. It's not a
It
slam
is.
dunk, bro.
Wait,
it
sorry,
isn't because
sir.
we elected
That
Trump.
is- wait, one
this
second.
was your whole
One-
thing
one
before
second.
the election,
That is
and no one gave a shit.
one moment. That is such a
No one
disingenuous
cared,
argument.
argument. No
That is
argument.
that is such a
We elected
disingenuous
Trump.
comment.
No
One
one
moment.
freaking cared
One
about that.
moment.
Because no one
Hey,
believes
hey,
it.
Hey, Nate, you're crashing out right now
'Cause it
because
doesn't- it doesn't
you're a
matter what
petulant
you
man
guys say.
child. So I'm going to need you.
No,
to
I'm
put a
just
bubble
saying
in
you
your
guys
mouth.
bring it up every
we hear
freaking
you.
day, and you
We
can't
hear
talk
you.
about anything else.
Hey, Nate. Before we were talking about the fact that a court held Donald Trump civilly liable for rape, was I talking to you about the fact that the Democrats wanted to build more border wall under the bipartisan border bill that Trump shot down? Yes or no?
I can't remember. Probably.
The answer to that
But
question would be
Parker
yes.
brought up the
So
civil-
before
the
we were
civil,
talking about Donald Trump being held civilly liable for rape, were we talking about the fact
Uh-huh.
that the only reason why undocumented entries into this country has fallen is because of the heinous human rights abuse and violations of our Constitution on behalf of the Trump administration? Yes or no?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Harris.
Yes. Yeah,
wouldn't
answer. No,
have
no.
done
Stop
what
talking.
Trump
Stop
did, right?
talking. Stop talking. Okay.
All right,
The answer
all
to
right,
that
ask
question
it
was
again,
yes.
ask it again.
Before we were talking about Donald Trump being held civilly liable for the rape of E. Jean Carroll, was I going over the signifiers of authoritarianism that we see to be through the Trump administration because of their ignorance of federal law and because of their violations of the Constitution?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. So I find it very disingenuous for you to sit here and say that the only thing we talk about is the fact that Donald Trump is a rapist, while you know that I've gone over at least 3 other subjects
didn't say
with
that's
you
the only
in the
thing.
less than 30 minutes you've been up here. And now you're saying you didn't say
Hey,
that's
I
the only thing
appreciate
that we've
it.
been over. Well, I'd like to make some money today. Go ahead and put $100 on that claim. I'll bet you $100. Let's put it on the line, and then we could rewind the VOD. And if you didn't say that that was the only thing we talk about, then I'll send you $100. And if you did say that that's the only thing we talk about, then you'll send me $100. How does that sound?
Listen, man, I'm talking about every day you're on the live, it's brought up. I think probably every single time someone comes up on the live, you bring it up.
Yeah,
You or
that's
Parker.
also very fair because a rapist can't even get hired as a fry cook at McDonald's, and that is policy.
You know what? You're
Be quiet.
passionate.
Rapists cannot get hired as a fry cook at McDonald's, and that is policy that every American agrees upon. But as soon as it's the president of the goddamn United States of America, the most powerful man alive, well, then all of a sudden you want to play your very sick pedantics to arguing that we shouldn't care if they raped a woman, we shouldn't care if they touched children, we shouldn't care if they barged into their dressing rooms, we shouldn't care what the hell they do because they're still a good man and a good president, outing y'all as the pedo protectors, outing y'all as the rapist protectors, outing y'all as the people that don't care about women and girls, don't care about survivors, and don't care about violent sexual crimes, right? At the end of the day, this is exactly why Democrats are winning seats in deep red counties that Democrats have been losing for the last 40 to 50 years. It's because y'all have no moral convictions. You're actively eroding the social and moral fabric of this country. And it's time that we ring the bell on the serious issue and epidemic that this country is experiencing because the lack of care and disregard for the victims of very serious crimes, all because the president has green-lighted you into being a misogynistic pig that doesn't care about little girls who have their sanctity and right to bodily autonomy violated, which is also why the Trump administration is now covering up for the pedos and the preds and the Epstein files, because they know that you don't fucking care and you're still going to support them no matter what. And you even said that you care about your own family. Okay, well, what if it was your own family? What if it was your wife? Would you still be sitting up here saying, oh, I don't care and America didn't care, that's why we voted for him? What if it was your little girl? Would you be saying, oh, I don't care and we don't care, that's why America voted for him? Oh, and if it was your wife or it was your little girl, then how would you feel about some other MAGA turd coming up on this live saying that, oh, well, we don't care and I don't care, we're still going to make him president?
Yeah. Listen, I was talking about we don't care about the Eugene Carroll thing that Parker brought up. No one, okay, Eugene Carroll, no one cares about that anymore. Obviously, I'm very, very supportive of what you just said right there. I don't support the Epstein. No one freaking is down for that unless you're a sicko, right? And if Trump did a little kids, that's ridiculous, and I don't support that at all. And he'd lose I would never support him again.
Why can you draw it in one scenario but not the other? Why can't you identify that that's the exact same thing that you're defending with Donald Trump?
I looked into it myself, Parker. I did research and I came to my own conclusion. Okay. You can have your own conclusion. That's
okay, so watch this. Name one piece of evidence in the case that you dispute.
I don't know. I can't.
Exactly. So what fucking research did you actually do?
Because I did it. Sounds like you did. I did it. I did it like 3 years ago, man. It was a long time ago. Listen, Parker. I came to my conclusion.
Did it 3 years ago, by the way.
You came to your own conclusion. Yeah, you came in your own. I came to mine, and we move on, dude. We freaking move the frick on. Like, holy moly, right? So I'm. I just want to talk about the Epstein files. I'm down with that.
What if you knew that Donald Trump was guilty for sexual exploitation? Would you still support him?
If I knew he was, no, I would not. I would not support that.
Can we agree that sexual exploitation would include a man abusing his position of power over the position of vulnerability of a woman or girl to further unconsensual sexual conduct?
You're gonna have to dumb it down for me, dude. You said a lot of words there that you're gonna just put 3 words at a time. Now.
If a man owned like a woman's bathroom, okay, and then women and girls were inside using the bathroom, he abuses the fact that he's the owner of the bathroom to allow himself in to peek his head over the stall to look at the bodies of the women and girls. Is that sexual exploitation?
Bro, in that context, the way you say it, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I'm at research. Look, I think that the basis of this argument, no one is in support of child.
1 second. I just gave you like a literally.
Dude.
Hey, is it sexual exploitation?
You're talking about something 45, 50 years ago. We walked into
it. One second. No, I don't understand why. I don't understand why you're not answering my question. It's almost like you're like running or dodging or like pivoting.
Because you're trying to push me in a corner.
Is it sexually exploitive here? Is it sexually exploitive here? Okay, for a man to exploit women and girls sexually by barging into their bathrooms, dressing rooms, changing rooms, to then look at them naked.
I don't support that.
Is it sexual exploitation?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the full definition.
So you just said,
and you feel Trump did that. I feel like he didn't. So that's
perfect.
We come to our own conclusions.
Check this out, Nate. Check this out, Nate. So you said, if you knew Donald Trump had engaged in sexual exploitation, you wouldn't support him. And then you agreed that it is sexually exploitive for a man to barge into a woman's dressing room to look at them while they have no clothes on. Here is Donald Trump boasting about barging into a woman or girl's dressing room and looking at them while they had no clothes on.
You have done that. Now, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So don't even start speaking yet, because I need to tell you the 2 paths that you have to move forward. The first path that you have to move forward is to concede, admit that Donald Trump has crossed that red line, take the red hat off, and redact your loyalty for MAGA, because you said if you knew Donald Trump was guilty of sexual exploitation, you would no longer support him. You agreed that barging into a woman's dressing room, looking at them while they have no clothes on, is sexual exploitation, and you just listened to a clip of Donald Trump admit to exactly that. There's your first path. The second path is to become a raging MAGA hypocrite with no spine and no morals, and try to find some way, any way, to convince me and Parker and the rest of the stream listening that somehow makes sense for you to continue to support Trump after you said you'd stop supporting him if he'd do what he just admitted to, regardless if that's through the use and employment of mental gymnastics, baseless counter arguments, or just a complete ignorance of it with an attempt from you to pivot. That's the path that you shouldn't take, and everybody's going to laugh at you, including myself. But the ball's in your court. You have the mic and my attention. Do you still support Trump after hearing him admit to something that you said if he did would be the red line and would make you stop supporting him?
Hey, that was a good play. Fair enough. You're in a debate. I'm not in a debate. That was a good way to put me in a corner. Now, I'm going to go back to the first thing I said on this live was I support Trump as the president now. I don't support every freaking thing he's done. So no, I do not support what he did there, and I disavow him or whatever you want me to say as far as that moment and what he did there. I think that's scumbag mentality. It's pedophile. It's pedo actions for sure. But again, what actions were taken, you got to look at that too. These are words, so I take it with a grain of salt in some ways. But no, I don't support that. Now, am I going to disavow MAGA and go vote for Democrats who? No, I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep doing me, keep looking out for me. I believe Trump's the right man to lead the country right now. He's
but you just said
doing
that
good things. He's not a good person.
You just said that you think he's
he
a
could
P3
be.
radio.
I don't know. He could be. I mean, if he wants to look at young girls naked, then that probably means he's a pedophile.
But you still think he's the right guy?
I think he's for sure way more than Harris, dude. Absolutely. She's just not. She's spineless. She's got no.
I haven't heard that one yet. I haven't heard that. That was a first. Quote unquote, I think he's a pedo, but I still support him and think he's the right guy. That is the first time I've ever heard somebody take the mask off and be honest about that fact. I've never heard anyone say that before.
Yeah,
I do these live
shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, and literally that guy would still support him.
Right.
Trump could do literally anything, and that guy would support him. Literally,
Right.
There's nothing, not a single thing Trump could do that could come out.
No, right. Literally nothing. There's nothing that could come out. Like, wow. I do. So for those of you watching that don't know me, or this is your first time in the stream, I do these live streams for 4 hours a day, every day. And I've done these live streams for 4 hours a day, every day, since before the last election. I have never heard anybody say that.
I have, sadly.
Wow. Yeah, so yeah, I guess it's my first time. Xander, hi, how old are you?
I did not even mean to join this.
Oh, well, before you leave, you in the comment section, you said that he cooked me. So you're on board. You don't care if he's a pedo?
I don't, everybody else was saying he cooked you. I just said it. Nah, I don't support him.
All right. Dean, I'm going to get off for today. Have a great day, man. Have a good Valentine's Day, man.
Yeah, man, you as well. Have a good rest of your night.
Peace out, peace out.
Yeah, you as well. You as well. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. All right, we're going to get those two next guests in here. All right, what is going on, Kayla, and what is up, Jack? So both of you guys are kind of on that same page. You don't care if he's a pedophile. You'll still support him?
What?
You don't care if he's a pedophile. You'll still support him?
Who's a pedophile?
Well, that's what the last guest said.
Oh, I just said he cooked you to get your attention. I don't even know what the guy said.
But
I am a Trump supporter.
It's good to know that it's rage bait. I'm actually happy that it's rage bait compared to you being honest. What about you, Kayla? You're also doing the whole he cooked you thing, so you're on that same page. You wouldn't care if he's a pedophile. You still support him? Kayla? Kayla, hello? Oh my god, bro. We're doomed. We're so doomed as a society. I wish I could show my TikTok chat over on YouTube. It is flooded with people saying that he cooked me. The whole chat. Wow, man. Listen, guys. There has never been more urgency. Please vote in the midterms. Please vote in the midterms, guys. Every single message in the TikTok chat, every single one is saying that he cooked me when he said that he doesn't care if he were to be a pedophile. He'd still say that he's a good president. Oh my god. Y'all gotta vote.
Hi, Dean.
Y'all gotta vote, bro. Every single message. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like good versus evil. Oh. Vote, bro. That's scary, man. It doesn't even like rage bait me. It doesn't I don't like it doesn't it just like it scares me, you know? Alright, we got the next guest, Michael, loading up into the box. Alright, Michael's not connecting. Let's go to move on to the next Trump supporter. Only op instead of the queue. If you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, I'd really appreciate it if y'all could do your very best to follow our rules, to abide by them. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, y'all. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. By the way, if you're watching and you want to support me, you want to get a message across or get something read out loud, you could actually find me on Venmo and PayPal and the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message on YouTube, and the handle's at the top of the phone. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump? Nope, they just automatically left, guys. We are struggling with finding Trump supporters today, likely because there's not too many left, and the ones that are left are super crazy. I don't know, though. Hi, welcome in. Do you
Play
support
Farm
Trump?
Sim.
No, you're not the Farm Sim kid. Get out of here. You're unoriginal. You're not original, bro. You're not original. Moving on to the next guest, Madison. Hello, Madison.
Screaming penis is such a cutie bastard!
Dude, oh my god. How many accounts do they have? Oh, you know what, bro? You know what? That's one of my favorite screaming fetuses. Probably the favorite screaming fetus.
What's going on, Dean?
What's up, man? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm freshly 20.
All right, man. I'm going to thank a couple of people, then I'll pass you the mic. First and foremost, Broccoli, thank you for the $5 over on Super Chat. Scooter, thank you for the $5 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much, Broccoli and Scooter. I'd also like to thank Angry YouTube. Thank you for the $10 who says the things patriarchy will do to people. The things that patriarchy and Trump will do to people. It's insane. Thank you for the $10. Same thing with you, Lord T. Thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Literally saying the Dow. The Dow's at $50,000. Thank you so much for the $20, Lord T. And then Fit Dad CEO. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat, Fit Dad. You are so awesome. Thank you so much. I want to see 500 Fit Dad W's in that live chat. Fit Dad with a 50 says her name's E. Jean Carroll. You one brain cell numb nut. That's in response to the last guest who kept on calling her Eugene. I appreciate you for correcting his ass. That guy was crazy. Thank you for the $50. Just some love to Fit Dad down below. And then Anya, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo, who says, I was 13 years old when I heard that clip of Donald Trump saying that he could grab girls by their private parts. Next thing I know, he's elected for president twice. A sad message that sends so many girls out there. I couldn't agree more, Anita. Thank you for the $15. Ben, thank you so much for the $10. Let's get 100 Ben W's. Rita, thank you for the $10. Let's get 100 Rita W's. And Daniel, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Then Morgan, thank you so much for the $20. Who says, keep on doing what you're doing. You're making a difference. I appreciate you so much for that love and support, Morgan. Julie with a $22 says, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for everything that you do. Well, thank you so much, Julie. Happy Valentine's Day to yourself. And thank you for the $22 donation. As soon as I'm done with my live stream here, I'm going to be taking my girlfriend out to dinner to celebrate Valentine's Day. I can't wait. Thank you so much for that love. Same thing to Martina. Thank you for the $15. Who says, hey, Dean, thank you for having the patience to do what you do. Love watching your streams. Keep being great. Well, I'm happy you enjoy the live streams, Martina, and thank you for your support. Same thing goes to you, Kat. That's Kat with a K. Thank you for the $10. And then Jennifer, thank you for the $50 over on Venmo. That came in 30 minutes ago. I'm so grateful for you, Jennifer. Show some love to Jennifer down below. Jennifer with a 50 says, this old white lady loves you. Well, this young white man loves you. Thank you so much for that love, Jennifer. Huge shout out to Jennifer down below in that comment section. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're all caught up over there on Venmo. Let's quickly catch up on PayPal, and then we'll hop into this next debate. Caroline, thank you for the $10 on PayPal, who says, something is wrong with these people. Strong nerves to you, Parker and Santana. When you talk to Santana again, you definitely need them to deal with this bullshit. Oh my God, there's something just instrumentably wrong with a lot of them, Caroline. Thank you for the $10. Same thing to you, Alfie. Thank you so much for the $5. Who says this admin is covering for Preds? Yep. Sophie, thank you for the $10. Let's get 100 Sophie W's. And then Shakira, thank you so much for the $50 from SJ. SJ, thank you for the 15. Who says, just sending you some love. I know that you've been going through it lately. Love you, Dean. I love you too, SJ. Let's get 200 SJWs. Same thing goes to you, Amy. Thank you for the $15. Who says, thank you for what you do. Well, thank you so much for the love. And we're all caught up. up. Once again, if you're watching and you like the stream, you want to support me, you want to support what we do here so we can continue to do this for 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can find my Venmo and PayPal in the link tree in my bio on my TikTok account. The handle's also right there, as well as there in the pinned message over on that YouTube stream. But let's go ahead and hop into that debate. Take it away, Maddie. Tell us how the hell you still support this terribly authoritarian regime.
I just have to say that I think people like you are the reason that Kamala lost. Instead of utilizing the big platform that you have to tell people why you should vote for Democrats and the big plans that the leftist party has for this upcoming election, the midterms, everything, you utilize it to absolutely bash on a man with a shady background that doesn't even have place to run. He's done with his 2 terms. He's done with everything. And then he's gone. And I know that you can bash on JD Vance. I guess that would be more like utilizing your platform better. But I feel like you should be using this more to tell people how to vote for the leftist party. And also, and I know you try to do that sometimes, but I feel that every time I join your lives, because I see them almost every day, and I always see you just bashing on Trump. He can't vote. You can't vote for Trump anymore. He's the president. He won't be president again. But I feel like you should either shift your views over to JD Vance, who will likely be running and be the president, or shift over to like supporting AOC or supporting more people on the leftist.
Well, so you're obviously not a Trump supporter. You're on the left, right?
No.
Oh, you're an actual Trump supporter. Okay, wow. Well, what I'd say here is that you're wrong. Okay, so first and foremost, before people even open their eyes to considering voting for a Democrat, if they're deep in that MAGA cult, they first need to be able to leave that cult and step aside from Trump because of exactly what we discuss on this live stream on a daily basis. Not to mention that in that same breath, okay, every single thing that we discuss on this live stream surrounding why the Trump administration is in the wrong, surrounding why Donald Trump is a bad president, and surrounding why the GOP is terrible for the American people, are reasons to vote for the left. Because for every dean on the internet telling you why Trump is a bad president and why his administration is failing the American people and exactly how, there's a congressman or woman out there running for office right now as we speak saying, well, here's what I'm going to do now that you've been convinced that this is a bad thing to make it better. Okay? There is a Democrat in Congress like Rep. Rokana saying, now that Dean has convinced you that the GOP and the Trump administration are failing the American people by not releasing the Epstein files, I, as a Democrat, will now force them to release the Epstein files by pushing the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I, as a Democrat, am going to attempt to hold Pam Bondi accountable. I, as a Democrat, am going to be asking her these questions and calling her into Congress to expose the lies and the cover-up and the lack of transparency from the Trump DOJ. Not to mention that there is a diverse ecosystem of outspoken voices in American politics. It will never be a one-man job. And what you just condensed it down to was a one-man job. You said, Dean, it is solely your responsibility to ensure that the Democrats win. In response, I say, no, Dean, it is not solely my responsibility to ensure that the Democrats win. I am just merely a cog in the machine that will ensure that the Democrats win and that the authoritarianism of the right is undercut come midterms. I'm using my voice to do a part, just like many others out there that are using their voice to do a part by centering their time and focus on why you should be voting for the Democrats come midterms.
I mean, this is the first time I've ever heard you say anything like this on a live. Like, I tune into your lives a lot. I watch your lives for almost like an hour every day, and I don't hear you talking about the upcoming like presidential candidates or the congressmen that want to come up and be a leftist and take down Trump's administration.
So why don't you tell us why you support Trump?
I support Trump because I don't think Kamala would be able to handle making the country better.
Okay. So do you think that Trump is making the country better?
I think that Trump is taking Biden's terrible economy and
also,
terrible...
wait, I'm so sorry. I just have to say here, another point against your claim there is during the election, I was known as the white boy for Kamala Harris. I spent my time during and before the election for literally a year straight advocating for the Harris administration, telling the world why you should vote for her and exactly what she would do good for this country. 1 second. No, because you made your point, and which is, I never do these good things to attempt to get Democrats to win. And what about now? Well, maybe if you tuned into the live streams a little bit more, then you would know on a daily basis. I repeat that the closer to midterms we get and the candidates announcing their runs for seats in Congress, we're going to start talking about that more too. I feel like you're just honestly pissed off that I'm able to effectively dispute your view and prove to people that you're a goddamn fraud and that the Trump administration is failing these people while also pushing for more progressive politics on the left. I literally interviewed the head of the DNC. I interviewed the head of the DNC on this live stream, and you're going to tell me that I'm not doing enough to push for more progressive voices in politics.
I didn't say you weren't doing enough. I just said that you should be making a platform.
It just sounds like you're just a petulant man-child who's very mad that I prove you wrong.
Hey,
now, are the allegations in the chat true? Do you follow? Do you follow children?
I don't follow children. I am a child.
You're under the age of 18?
Let's go ice, baby. Yes, I'm under the age of 18.
Okay. Well, I now understand the way that you are because you're not a petulant man-child. You're just a petulant child.
Yeah, you're a man.
Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box. Only up inside that queue if you happen to be MAGA. We got the next guest, A name, loaded up into the box. Hi, welcome in.
I love you, Dean. I love you.
Jesus Christ. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in. Okay, we got Michael Burns, 43, connecting to the live. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Doing all right. Are you driving?
I'm an OTR chart driver for the past 24 years, and I have a lot of things me and you going to talk about, young man. I'm 55 years old. I have watched Trump for probably 20 years.
I just got to ask, are you driving as we speak?
Yeah, I can pull over right quick. I got to do a 30-minute break. Give me about 10 minutes, and I'll be fast, and I'll be stopped.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on mute, and then just unmute when you when you pulled over.
Venmo and PayPal. I'll be in there in just a second.
Okay, I put you on mute. Just unmute your mic once you're pulled over. And if you don't know how to unmute your mic once you're pulled over, just leave the live and then hop back in the queue. But in order to unmute your mic when you're pulled over, just click on your profile picture, then click on the icon of the mic. And we'll be having a great conversation with that guy in 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to go to get another Trump supporter loaded up in here just for the meantime. But once again, guys, if you do want to support me on Venmo or PayPal, you could actually find that in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message on YouTube, and the handle's also at the top of the phone screen. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. We got the next guest, Caden, loading up into the box. Here we go. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I'm underaged.
Okay. Well, you got to be at least 18 to hop inside of the queue. Please follow our rules. Don't know why y'all are breaking them. Moving on to the next guest right now. We're just looking for some Trump supporters. Moving on to Gabe. Here we go. Hi, welcome in, Gabe. Do you support Trump? Hello.
Yo, you want some M&Ms, bro? You want some?
Okay, goodbye. Moving on to the next guest right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. What are we doing? We got Chaos Barry loading up into the box, bro. There's literally 0 Trump supporters that are down to talk to me. Except for this trucker. All right, I'll talk to this trucker once he's pulled over. Once again, Mr. Trucker, I'll just repeat this. Once you're pulled over, click on the icon down there of yourself. Click on the icon of the mic. It'll turn back on your camera. Hello, do you support Trump, Chaos?
I love you, Dean.
Bro, how many accounts do you have? Jesus Christ. Bro, how many accounts do they have, bro? Yo, Mario! Thank you so much for the $100 over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you so much for that love, Mario. I want y'all to show some love to Mario.
Hello.
Another child. Down below in that comment section right now. I appreciate you so much for the $100 so much, man. Oh, one moment, Mario. Hello?
I'm back.
Okay. Did he pull over?
Yes, I am pulled over. I'm sitting on the side of the road. I can talk for a minute.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, if you think that you could just get your phone a little bit closer to your head so we could hear you a little bit better, that'd be very nice. I'm just going to read off.
I'm on there now.
Perfect. I'm just going to read off Mario's message, and then we'll hop into the debate. Mario, seriously, I really appreciate you for the $100. He says, thank you. This country needs voices like yours. Stay strong. I appreciate you so fucking much, man. I want to see 1,000 Mario W's down below in the comment section. Thank you so much, Mario. You're the best, bro. Seriously. Thank you. All right. Michael, go ahead and take it away. Tell us why the hell you support, like, the worst president of your goddamn life.
Oh, God, that's funny as hell. Let me tell you something right now. I have lived for the better part of almost 10 presidents in my lifetime. The far two worst presidents that we've had to deal with, or three if you want to go back to the 90s, would be George W. Bush Sr., Barack Obama, and Biden. Three of the worst presidents. Why I say that? Because I've lived through their administrations.
Right.
Okay?
I did too.
Now,
I did too, by the way. I'm 65. I know a little bit more than you, young buck.
yeah, you're full of shit too.
No, I'm actually
All right,
65. But young buck, tell us. Tell us, young buck.
If you're 65, I want to know what the hell you're drinking.
The Adrenochrome,
primarily,
bro.
it's like this. Primarily like this, okay? Trump as president running this country, I think he's doing a good job. He's got a lot of things I don't agree with, but I think he's doing a good job in a lot of areas. A lot of things that he's doing I don't agree with. I damn sure do not agree with any pedophile, any sex offender being in charge of any section of the United States government. That being said, we've had several of them that were still president, and you backed one of them, and that was Biden. Kamala Harris, and I have seen many of the episodes about Kamala Harris. I wouldn't let her run a doghouse, let alone the presidency of the United States. Looking at the past that she has, she didn't get there the proper way. And I'm not going to say anything more about that.
I think you should say something more and explain your view.
I have seen and talked, well, not directly talked, but I have seen conversations and videos of people who talked about Kamala Harris back in California, sleeping her way to position.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you talk about Trump saying he grabbed a woman's, vagina. I don't like that he done that or he said that. I don't like that he walked in on other women. I'm old school type person. If I'd have caught it, owner of the company or not, security, they should have knocked his ass the fuck out and kept him out of there. Job or no job, that's
Can I hop in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
What state are you from?
What state am I from?
Yeah.
Originally, I was born in Tennessee. I live in Texas.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So let's just go with Texas, since that's where you live. Can you name the mayor of any city in Texas?
No, I don't follow the politics in Texas.
Can you name the mayor of any city in Tennessee?
Nope.
Right, neither can I. And I'm from Colorado. I couldn't name the mayor of any city in Colorado, including the city that I live in, even though I literally fucking met him once. Which is typical, by the way. A vast majority of all Americans simply do not know their mayor and do not know the mayor of any town in their state. That's a fact. So how the hell are you expecting, millions of people in California, enough to literally get her up to be a senator of them, to not only know who Willie Brown was, the not just current but ex-mayor of San Francisco from 15 years ago, but to also have a positive view and reflection of himself, but then to also know that he was in a relationship with Kamala Harris, to then give them a positive view and reflection of Kamala Harris, to then turn around and vote for her. The view that Kamala Harris slept her way to the top, all because she was in a temporary relationship with an ex-mayor of one city from 15 years ago, when you nor I nor really anybody in this live can name their sitting mayor from the city that they live in now, is insane. It's obviously misogynistic, it's obviously sexist, and it's obviously conducive to the conclusion that you're just mad that a black woman was able to become more successful in life and to gain more power in life than you.
Son, let me tell you something. My best friends are black. All right? I sit down at the kitchen table with my friends and eat dinner with them. Have them come to my house. My wife is Hispanic. So that is not true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you got black friends.
Before
Yeah, totally.
Wait a minute.
Black friends.
All right.
Oh, he did the thing. I don't think I've ever really seen somebody do the thing. You know, that doesn't change anything.
Why?
Okay. Still, yet your beliefs
Why?
surrounding Kamala Harris not being able to get into the position of power that she was because of legitimate qualifications, reducing it down to her sex and the fact that she was in a relationship with a man that served as an ex-mayor of a city from 15 years ago, absolutely demonstrates either anti-black virtues, anti-woman virtues, or both. It absolutely does. I mean, give me any other explanation for it, because there's just simply no justification for the claim that she was able to sleep her way to the top. And I was actually just able to point out the utter absurdity in believing that, due to the fact that nobody can name a fucking mayor of any town in their city, and you're expecting enough Californians to not only know the ex-mayor of San Francisco 15 years ago, but to know that he was dating Kamala Harris, had a positive view of him, and therefore had a positive view of Kamala Harris, to vote for her, not rooted within the policy that she ran on or the change in what she wanted to implement. Kamala Harris was significantly you got flagged for misinfo. He got flagged for misinformation. I don't know what he said, but he's gone now. We're going to move on to the next guest. Sorry, dude, you got flagged for misinfo, so I had to kick you. We're going to move on to the next guest, Gabrielle. By the way, that guy wasn't driving. He was pulled over to the side of the road for his 30-minute break. He just had his...
hey, how's it going?
He had his hazard lights on. Hi, do you support Trump?
Hey, so I voted for Trump. I'm a conservative, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like a Trumpy or MAGA, but I did vote for Trump, and I'm ideologically conservative, so if that still counts, if that's okay.
Yeah, if you were teleported back to November of 2024, would you vote for him again?
Just because of the fact I am an ideological conservative, it's really hard to say I would, but I don't say that with a lot of pride, just because of the two options I think were not very good. Also,
so you think that if Congress was elected, that we'd still be worse off today than we already are?
I mean, the border situation, that was one of the biggest reasons why I voted for Trump. And I don't think that the Biden administration properly handled that. And you know what? And maybe if you can educate me. I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about. And one of them was being immigration. The other one being the Epstein files. I know that there's a lot of flack for the Trump administration over the handling of the Epstein files, which I agree. Pam Bondi needs to be fired. She is awful. What she did in front of Congress was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But my kind of thing is that the Trump administration was the administration that did release the files, and the Biden administration had almost 4 years to do so. Why didn't they?
Because for the first
what's your view
years of
on
their
that?
administration, the totality of the files were involved in an active and ongoing prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell. And then during the last year of their administration, when they could have released them, they didn't, because they observed the independence of the DOJ. Whether you like it or not, I actually don't like it. I actually wish that they would have impeded upon the independence between the executive branch and the DOJ to force the release of the files. But I mean, they did so even when it was not in their best interests. You know, like for instance, they could have just specifically asked the DOJ to release the files, where we saw the letter from Epstein to Larry Nassar saying that Donald Trump shares their affiliation and sexual attraction for young girls, but they didn't. They could have specifically requested that the DOJ only release the letter from Trump to Epstein in 2003, depicting the naked body of a girl with a statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret," but they didn't. They could have specifically requested that the DOJ only release the email that Epstein sent to Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, saying that of course Trump knew about the girls all along, but they didn't. They could have released the statement from Donald Trump after Epstein's arrest to a local sheriff, saying that we've all known what Epstein was doing with those girls and how he's so evil, contradicting Donald Trump's narrative that he never knew what Epstein was doing, but they didn't, even though it could have probably won Kamala Harris the election. So just to answer your question with certainty, it's because they truly viewed the DOJ as an independent entity. Now, in response to your first claim that, well, inevitably, the Trump administration is the one that released the files, because they were forced to, not because they wanted to, and that's not speculation or conspiracy theory. They literally said that they didn't want to. They were calling a vote for the release of the Epstein files an act of hostility against their administration. Donald Trump was calling any
Didn't they
Republican
run on that though in the campaign? That they would do it though? Am I tripping?
No, you're pointing out more inconsistencies. Yes, they ran on releasing the Epstein files, won the election, then didn't want to release the Epstein files.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. So again, that's I just want to speak to anyone who is in here who is truly MAGA, like brainwash cult MAGA. You can be an ideological conservative. You can be a fiscal conservative. I'm not too sure where your economic leanings are, Dean. I'd like to hear more about it. But if you are actually true MAGA in here, bro, wake up like, please wake up. You don't have to be a sheep and just be brain dead and just follow your party because they're doing something and defend every single thing. Okay, please, because it gives us all a bad rap. That's what I'm just gonna say. That's to the MAGAs in here.
Listen, that's
sorry,
good.
just didn't want to hijack,
listen, what you're saying here is good. But considering the fact that like you are still positioning yourself as somebody that would ultimately still choose to support the Trump administration at the end of the day, I'd almost say the same thing to you, but maybe not to the same extent.
I wouldn't say I do though. Like I feel like just because I'm an ideological conservative on social and economic issues,
you could be a
make
Thomas
me
Massey of
MAGA.
the world. Yeah, listen, what makes you MAGA is the fact that you said that you'd turn around and you'd vote for Donald Trump again if you're teleported back to the last election.
I said I wasn't sure. Like I'd have to think more on that one. That was on the spot.
All right, sounds good. Well, how about this? Let's see if I could like change your mind on some small things. So, like, what's holding you back?
I'm down to have a
saying,
like conversation. I hate like the heated debates. Like, I kind of wanted to have like a cool debate with you. You seem like reasonable and like I don't know if that was all right.
What's holding you back from saying that you would never vote for Trump again in your life?
Well, number one was, I would say, of course, like Biden's handling of the border, which I want to hear your perspective on it, on how you kind of defend that, or if you are willing to critique their handling of the border with like the mass pouring of people. Like it gets to a point where it is unacceptable. And they didn't do much as much as I wish they would. Like, and it's not like I'm gonna sit here and be through every president be like, oh, like screw them. Like, no, I wish they would do the right thing. And whether they are the preferred choice or not, that was one of the things. So it's like, I believe if the Kamala Harris-Wallace administration was in, there wouldn't be any adequate handling of the border crisis.
I would rank the Biden-Harris administration's handling of the border a B- or a C+. Meanwhile, I would rank the Trump administration's handling of the border an F.
Okay. I'm going to assume that's because of the killing of, I don't know if I can say that. The unaliving of Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole. Is that why?
And about a billion other things too.
Okay. For the record, I do want to say that I do believe that Alex Preddy was unalived unjustly, like absolutely. I have family who are in law enforcement, and we all kind of came to that conclusion that's BS. And their handling of it, saying that he was some
domestic terrorist, trained assassin.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, man, that made me sick to my stomach.
And it should, like truly, okay. It is authoritarian, okay, to defend the unjustifiable execution of your own constituents in broad daylight. In fact, in my mind, I think that it is state-sponsored terror.
I would be really careful with the state-sponsored terror thing, because like where my mind kind of goes with an issue like that is like, it's kind of like the bad apple argument, which like I do see merit in still. It's like, while yes, there are bad actors who are clearly untrained and like I would say have some racial motives, who aren't like they're horrible people. I wouldn't say that makes the entirety of ICE a terror, like Gestapo, that people were framing it. Like I wouldn't go as far as to say that.
I hear you. Right, and I think that there's many scenarios where the one bad apple argument genuinely applies. All right. Mm-hmm. However, I don't think that it applies in this scenario for two main reasons. The first main reason is that I believe that the Trump administration is culpable for creating the environment that permits actions of those kinds to take place. All right. The way I think that the Trump administration created that environment was by directing ICE to ignore the law, giving them new memorandums and internal memos stating that you can now ignore people's Fifth Amendment right and arrest them without a judicial warrant under typical scenarios. You can now ignore people's Fifth Amendment rights and just barge into their houses with no judicial warrants. All right. By just ignoring federal law as well. Okay. Deporting people with no due process, having federal judges ruling that you actually have to bring those people back to America because you deported them with no due process. And then having like DHS as a whole, Kristi Noem and the Trump administration as a whole being like, no, they're never coming back. I don't care. Same thing with like Abrigo Garcia. Like SCOTUS literally ruled that his deportation was illegal and that he had to come back. And then they posted on the official White House account on Twitter, like, we don't give a shit. He's never coming back. Right. That's the creation of this lawless environment that allows for lawless actions to be permissible to take place. And that's like the first 50% of my reason why I believe that this one bad apple argument won't apply to the murder of Alex Preddy or others. But then the second 50%, and arguably the more important 50% specifically for this state-sponsored terror argument, would be after it occurred, they didn't call him the one bad apple.
Yeah.
After it occurred, they called him one of the many good patriotic ICE agents that are acting in obedience with the policy and the regulatory guidelines set forth by the Trump administration, by the federal government, and by the Department of Homeland Security. And so that this is an ICE agent that we all need to stand by because he was justifiably shooting a fucking domestic terrorist.
And I would agree with you.
Damage. And those two reasons comprise my argument insofar as why I believe that this would be an example of state-sponsored terror compared to an example of that one bad apple.
Okay, so I agree with you on like I would say the first 50%. The second 50% of what did you say? Oh yeah, how they chose to stand by him instead of condemn him. I think like as police officers, federal agents, whatever it may be, they are held to the highest standard because we, within our social contract, we give them the ability to take life and arresting power, and we need to hold them to a very high standard. So I think like I agree with you. That shouldn't have happened, and I'm not proud of my party for that. I wouldn't even say they're on my party. I'm just a conservative. I'm not proud of them for that. But for the first thing though, the due process stuff, like whatever SCOTUS says, like it goes. Obviously, I'm not going to argue with SCOTUS. But I will say that I remember watching some of Charlie's things, and he did mention how there were a couple acts that Trump did enact to bypass or quicken the due process due to like criminal aliens who are in our country illegally. I think one of them was that they were here within a certain amount of time or approximate to the border, which would grant them less due process rights.
What you're referring to is expedited due process. Expedited removal with limited due process.
Right. So aren't those people right now who are being deported with like the expedited due process, wouldn't that fall under that act that he invoked?
It would not, because expedited removal with limited due process is not a violation of anybody's Fifth Amendment rights, legally speaking. All right. This was adjudicated on by SCOTUS in 2021. And honestly, it's a ruling that I disagree with. I think that in many scenarios, expedited due process is a violation of one's Fifth Amendment rights. But like you said, legally speaking, what SCOTUS says is what goes. So legally speaking, it's not a violation of their Fifth Amendment rights. But we've actually seen federal courts issue final orders that the Trump administration, legally speaking, has been violating the Fifth Amendment rights of many undocumented immigrants within their deportation, even in consideration to SCOTUS case law surrounding expedited removal being within the scope of the duties being within the scope of the abilities of DHS and deportations. Basically saying that, no, this wasn't even a deportation that would qualify under this expedited removal or limited due process, but there was literally no due process at all, and they were infringing on their constitutional rights. That's what federal judges have ordered.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. So like as you like also I feel like a lot of conservatives, they paint like guys like you, Parker, as like, oh, open borders, anyone can come in, leave and be like what is your stance on illegal immigration? Are you for or against illegal immigration? Like what are your thoughts on that and how ICE should be going about it? Because I feel like you guys haven't spoken much on that, and I really would like to hear more because I feel like that would bring down a lot of tension. I don't know.
So I'll be clear. Undocumented immigrants who have committed bad crimes should either be thrown in jail here or be deported to another country where they will hopefully land in a jail cell there. Okay?
Right.
End of story. But for the undocumented immigrants that are already in this country that haven't been committing these bad crimes, which, by the way, is a vast majority of them, in fact, a higher percentage of them compared to citizens, because they're 2.5 times less likely to commit a violent crime on American soil compared to you or I, as natural U.S.-born citizens. They should be offered a pathway to permanent residency or citizenship. All right?
You can pay here. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, no, you're good. Sorry, I'm just at work right now. So sorry, bro. 1 second.
Bro,
1 second.
Turn your volume down. I'm gonna put you on mute. Unmute yourself when you're ready to go.
Right on.
People. He's literally at work hitting the debate. That's crazy. Yo, Pot, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Says that saying goes, a few bad apples spoils the bunch, meaning that the bad influences corrupts the rest, which is exactly what has happened. So true, Pot. Okay. Give me one moment, dude. I'd also like to thank Ivy. Thank you for the $21 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Ivy. Show some love to Ivy down below for the $21 donation. Thank you so much. Ivy says these people start to sound like the type to say, quote unquote, they started it in defense of a minor instigating something that they know that they shouldn't have done. Adults do know better. I just don't understand the hate when the patriarchy is the one reducing the people to looks and objects. Yeah, man, there's a lot of really fucking hateful people, man. I appreciate you so much for the $21 and the absolute truth nuke, as always, Ivy. Same thing goes to you, Claire. Thank you so much for the $20 for the quote-unquote best Mayor Willie Brown clapback argument I've ever heard in my life. Well played. Well, thank you so much for the love, Claire. I've definitely been honing in that argument for years now. Same thing to you, Jared. Thank you so much for the $25, who says, my mom overheard your live stream yesterday and agreed with the caller that American slavery was not racist. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, bro. Holy shit, Jared. I'm not even gonna leave my input on there, bro. Stay fucking safe. Get out of there. Get the hell out of there. Thank you for the $25, Jared. Let's get 250 Jared W's. Thank you so much. Same thing to you, Kelsey. Thank you so much for the $15 donation, who says, happy Valentine's Day. Have fun with your girlfriend. Thank you for everything that you do. Here's $15 towards your dinner tonight. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that love, Kelsey. Genuinely, thank you so much for the love. I want to see 150 W's for Kelsey. You know what? That'll go towards the dessert. Thank you so much. Same thing to Alexis. Thank you for the $5. Amber, thank you for the 5. Then Cadence, thank you so much for the $10, who says you're awesome. I love your streams. Thank you so much. And then Avery, thank you for the 5. It looks like we're all caught up over there. On PayPal, MJ, thank you so much for the $20, who says, is $20 enough to never let TPA on a stream ever again? You cooking him is funny, but he's too fucking annoying and will never change. Yeah, I agree. We'll probably never have that guy up again just because he will never change his mind. Thank you for the $20, MJ. Same thing to Anya with a 1, Sasha with a 5, Amanda with a 5, then Emily, thank you for the $17, who says, this is so insane because if it was a trans man or a woman walking into a dressing room and speaking those same words, they would be called for them to be arrested or killed. Yep, absolutely, Emily. Thank you for the $17 and the absolute truth nuke. Same thing to Rahel. Thank you so much for the $15, saying thank you for everything that you do. Well, thank you for the $15, Rahel. And then Caroline, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. We're all caught up over there. Quickly to catch up on Super Chat, Heather, thank you so much for the $20. Heather with the 20 says, Dean, I think you missed my last dono. Please read it out if you're able. The channel I'm talking about is Jack Does VA sometimes. Okay, I'll check that right now, Heather. Thank you for the 20. Same thing to you, Lord T. Thank you for the $20 as well over on Super Chat. Lord T with the 20 says, why isn't this administration going after the companies hiring the undocumented workers as well if they don't want immigrants here? The Langford immigration bill would have sped up the immigration, but Trump still says to kill it. Right, it's because they don't actually care about undocumented immigrants. They care about using undocumented immigration as a talking piece to rally bigoted white Americans as a part of their base. Thank you guys so much for all the love. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio everywhere, including in my bio on my TikTok account, description on the YouTube, pin message over there, and on top of the phone screen here. All right. I'm going to send this guy an invite to me. I don't know if he's still working or not, but...
Hey, dude, you know what? It got really busy at work here, so I think I'm going to have to dip, but I really appreciate the conversation. I really liked it. Yeah, good luck with everything, bro.
I appreciate that. You should re-request sometime, bro. I'd love to have a longer conversation with you. Isn't it, bro? Dude, everybody, just real quick. Isn't it so crazy how, like, sane MAGA is making conservatives look? Just, like, regular conservatives. It's nuts, bro. And, like, just think about it. Because, like, conservatism is still, like, a bad political ideology that we ought not subscribe to. Okay? Right? It is still a bad political ideology that we shouldn't subscribe to. But, like, simultaneously... look at how sane that guy looked in comparison to every other guest that we've had on this live stream, merely because he wasn't a diehard MAGA cult member. You know what I mean? Like, I think that really demonstrates just how crazy MAGA is.
Can you debate my dad?
Fuck, you said debate my dad, bro. If your dad with you right now, I would debate him. I kicked you off just because I heard that you're like 14. But if your dad was with you, I'd debate him. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. On the opposite side of that key of your MAGA. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
19.
And why do you support the worst president of your life, Greg? I mean, seriously, this terrible authoritarian POS grapist really just needs to get the hell out of office, and we need to all stop supporting him.
Well, I want to have a quick conversation with you. I'm kind of in the position of I would love to hear all your points. Genuinely, if you can convince me, I'm glad to hear whatever you have. But
oh, cool. Do you mind if I start with a question then?
For sure.
If Biden literally called for the public execution via the means of hanging of his Republican political opponents in Congress with no good reason whatsoever, would any reasonable American stop supporting Biden as president?
Say that if Biden started what?
If Biden called for the public execution via hanging of his Republican political opponents in Congress with no good reason whatsoever, would any reasonable American stop supporting Biden?
Probably yes.
So then, just to clarify, if Donald Trump called for the execution of his political opponents, Democrats in Congress, via the means of hanging, would you as a reasonable American stop supporting Trump as president?
I think there's a lot of reasons to support him. I think there's a lot of reasons to not support him. I think he's a very controversial figure. I think he says things out of pocket. I think he says things that are, to be honest, he probably doesn't even mean, but he says things to pretty much gain popularity. Like some of the different interviews he's had. I pretty much did, yeah. Like there's reasons to, that's probably a reason to not vote for him.
Okay, so if he did that, you'd like no longer be a Trump supporter.
No, it's just the thing is at the end of the day, saying something like that shouldn't fully mean you just stop supporting the person. Because
okay, then why did it mean that for Biden?
Why didn't it mean that for Biden?
No, why did it mean it for Biden? I asked you the same question about Biden, and then you said, yeah, any reasonable American would stop supporting him. So why are you changing your answer?
It could be a reason for him for you to stop supporting him, but it shouldn't be the reason.
I literally
you just
asked you, if Biden did this, would any reasonable American stop supporting him? And you said yes.
I said, if Biden were to do that, there would people that would stop supporting him. Yeah.
I said, do you think reasonable Americans should stop supporting him as president?
Some, but not all.
No, it's a should question. Like, do you think they should stop supporting him?
I think basically my answer is there's going to be people that are going to stop stop supporting him.
That's not the question that I'm asking you. Do you think they should stop? Do you know what the word should means?
Like potentially.
Like, no, this is something that they ought do, right? Like you would argue that it is the case that reasonable Americans should no longer support Biden if he were to do this.
I mean, I don't understand.
You don't understand?
I really don't get where you're getting at with it.
Bro, if the president calls for the execution of his political opponents via the public means of hanging with no good reason whatsoever, would it be a good thing for Americans to stop supporting them?
I think it would be a reason for people to stop supporting him. But ultimately, that's not going to be the leading cause of him losing presidency, saying a controversial comment like that. That's my response.
I think it should be in America.
I mean, that's the thing is
because we don't execute our political opponents here, right?
Of course.
Do you think that attempting to rewrite the Constitution illegally in an attempt to consolidate power to the executive branch of our government would be a good reason for you to stop supporting Trump as president?
Maybe.
Could I get a little bit more of a clear answer here?
No, what I came on here for is because I genuinely want you to like give me a reason to vote for the first time in my life to the Democratic Party rather than the Republican Party. As someone, and I'll just be quite honest. I have my own business. And so the main reason that I voted for Trump was to pay less taxes, straight up.
Okay, listen. What kind of business do you run? Is it an S corp, C corp, LLC, sole proprietor? What are we looking at here?
LLC.
Okay, all right. So then you're not a C corp. You're not going to be able to take advantage of his 21% corporate tax rate. So it
will eventually turn into a C corp.
One day. Oh, but so you're not there yet. So right now I'd assume that you're a smaller business, like under like 50K in revenue a year.
No. More than that.
Okay, under 200K in revenue per year?
Over 200K in revenue per year.
Under $1 million in revenue per year?
Under $1 million in revenue per year.
If you're in between 200K and $1 million, you should definitely restructure to a C corp like right now. Okay, it makes sense as long as you're like companies like bringing in over 50K, but that's what a tax accountant would tell you. But anyways, as far as it concerns me, all right, so you're somewhere in between 200K and $1 million a year. Is it under 400,000?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then guess what? You'd have actually been better off under Kamala Harris tax policy because A, you're an LLC, not a C Corp, so you're not benefiting from the 21% corporate tax rate that it's only applicable to C Corps. And then B, Kamala Harris really only wanted to increase taxes on those making over $400,000 and C Corps by bumping the corporate tax rate to 28%.
But I'm thinking optimistically because the way that the business is going, it's obviously going to benefit me in the future. But I just want you to give me a reason. Other than that.
Yeah, sure. Other
than the fact that Trump is a controversial figure, he said things that are wrong. He said things that may make you dislike him. Why should I vote for the Democratic Party?
7%. You would have paid 7% more on the profits that you left in your bottom line profit that you left inside of your business. And guess what? I'm going to be honest. All right. I make more than $50,000 a year doing what I do. All right. And I am structured as a C Corp for that reason. All right. So I pay that corporate tax rate right now of 21% on the profits that are left in the business. All right. I would love to be paying 28% instead of 21% right now on the profits that are left in my business. Why? Because although I'm having to give the government more money, people won't be dying and being executed in the streets of this country. Although I'd be having to give the government more money out of my business, all right, we wouldn't see 66 million American women and girls having no or limited access to healthcare through the sense of abortion. Although I would be having to give the government another 7% of the profit that's left in my business, okay, we wouldn't see people being arrested because of the color of their skin or the accent in which they speak English in, and then illegally deported to Sica and El Salvador, where they're getting fucking tortured and beaten. And then even if we're looking at this through a purely economic perspective, although I would have had to pay an additional 7% of tax on the profit that I leave in my business, the economy as a whole would be significantly better off, and we wouldn't be getting the worst annualized job report since 2003, ignoring periods of recessions, and the worst monthly job report in January of this year since 2009, and the most manufacturing bankruptcies since 2008.
Okay, I have a question. Do you genuinely think in the bottom of your heart that the 7% more that you're going to pay in taxes is genuinely going to lead to that much better like of a world in America?
Bro, yeah, absolutely. Everything that I just said is just like opening the door, okay, into
Dude,
the differences.
the amount of money
which are
that
true
America
under the Trump
lost
administration right now, okay, and which would be true if Kamala Harris were governing this country. All right, and I think that corporations should be paying significantly more in taxes than like working class Americans. The only reason why Kamala Harris wanted to increase the corporate tax rate from 25% to 28% is so she could then turn around and give $1.8 trillion worth of tax cuts to the low and middle class without creating more debt by paying it off by shifting that burden to corporations. Not even the rich, just corporations. Corporations are entities, not even individual people. So it's like, if you were a corporation right now, sure, if Kamala Harris were president, you'd be paying 28% corporate tax rate on the money you leave in the business instead of 21%. But that's not even talking about like what you take out as a salary from that business, which if you're middle class or making less than like $400,000 per year would actually be less with the tax. So you might even be saving money through taxes because you're having to pay less on the salary that you take out via the personal income tax brackets that she wanted to reduce, or the other incentives like increased child tax credits if you're optimistic and you want to have a kid in the future, or for younger Americans if you want to buy your first house getting $25,000 back.
I gotcha.
Right? Like, even if you are a middle-class American that owns a corporation, you may still be benefiting net positive at the end of the day because of the reductions to the personal tax rates, which would be affecting your salary that you take out of your corporation.
Okay. Man, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of genuinely, dude, like, besides what you've just told me now, because I'm taking in all the information, what would really change my mind here? Because genuinely, I'm open to hearing your opinion on everything. Like, outside of the tax rates and everything that you just told me, if you can give me another reason, can you give me something else? Can you give me something else here, man?
Well, what do you care about? Because I could give you points all day long that you don't care about. All right, so what do you care about? So I could give you points that are relevant to changing your mind.
In my opinion, the way I see it, I don't pay attention super deeply to the political stuff in the world. I don't pay attention to the controversial comments that people make in both parties. I genuinely pay attention to myself, my family, like what's going on with unemployment, everything like that.
What's going on with unemployment? Highest level of employment in 5 years. What's going on with families? We would have had child tax credits 3 times higher under Kamala Harris.
Unemployment's not great right now, but it's like the beginning of he's just started his term. You have to give him years.
He started his term a year and a month ago.
The way, yeah, it's been a year, but there's 4 years in a term. The way Biden started his term was bad, dude. Like, you have to be honest.
Okay.
He didn't handle things very well.
Well, I'd actually say that his economic policy was some of the best that we've seen in modern American history. And he did start his term with very bad macroeconomic variables, not because of his policy, but because of global economic trends onset by the pandemic that hit every country, not just ours. But the economic outcomes that we've seen in the last year and a month under Donald Trump's second administration is purely because of his terrible policy, reversing the trends that existed beforehand.
I feel like, dude, the pre-pandemic Trump presidency was genuinely when the world was where it was at. Like, that's when things were good. It was not in the last 4 years. You got to be real. Things were not great in America the last 4 years.
Okay. Well, if you want to shit on how terrible things have been in the last 4 years, then you have to shit on Trump too, because things are worse now. We had great macroeconomic trends in the last 2.5 years of the Biden-Harris administration, with employment booming, GDP growth booming, investment and American manufacturers booming, unemployment going down. All of these macroeconomic trends were looking good. Ever since Donald Trump took over, they've only been getting worse. Unemployment the worst it's been in 5 years. Layoffs the worst they've been in 5 years. Lowest job opportunities since the Great Recession. Most manufacturing bankruptcies since the Great Recession. Like, we are now literally meeting we're now having figures of like layoffs, having figures of bankruptcies, having job reports that are worse than they ever were under the totality of the Biden-Harris administration.
What about the way that the inflation peaked around Biden's presidency?
Yeah, in his first year and a half,
inflation,
which, by the way, is what you
cost
said
of
we need
living.
to ignore at the beginning of the administration. Yeah, that was because of the pandemic, not because of them. It becomes very clear when you consider that every other country on the face of fucking planet Earth also had record high inflation at the same moment in time.
Dude, Trump was in presidency during the worst part of the pandemic, and he was still handling it the best.
No, absolutely not, bro. Inflation came after, okay? His administration was over in every country. In every single fucking country. Like, check this out. I'll prove it to you. What did Biden do to cause that 9% level of inflation?
I'm not sure what he did. I just know the fact. Inflation and cost of living was the highest it was in 2022.
Right. Yeah, but my claim is not because of Biden, but because of the pandemic. In fact, Biden was able to handle the economic crisis better than the leadership of any other country in the G7, because we were able to disproportionately reduce our level of inflation here faster than any other country in the G7 because of the great leadership of the Biden-Harris administration, doing things like passing the infrastructure bill to fund $1 trillion into work projects across this country to get Americans back to work because unemployment was so high, so they then had more money in their pockets to turn around and spend, avoiding a recession.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I just genuinely want to hear one more thing. If you had to give me 3 reasons to not vote for Trump and 3 reasons to vote for Biden, not including controversial comments that come from Trump, not including the fact that although Biden had horrible control over inflation, cost of living, border and immigration and everything during his 4 years, everything outside of that, what would be some reasons to vote for Biden?
Well,
not just because you hate Trump as a figure.
Old news, bro. That's hell old news. How about I just give you 3? How about I just give you like the biggest 3 reasons to not support Trump, not to support the now retired politician, President Joe Biden?
Hit me with the first.
An illegal consolidation of power, and a complete authoritarianism would be my first reason.
Okay.
Destructive to the economy, one of the most destructive presidencies that we've seen in many, many years, with some of the worst job reports and most bankruptcies since the Great Recession. That'd be my second reason.
I do not think Trump has led the economy to be the worst it's been in recent history.
Then why do we have the most manufacturing bankruptcies and worst job report in recent history?
It's not that bad.
It's
genuinely not. It's just genuinely not that bad. If you look at the facts, it's not that bad.
Yes, it is. It is that bad.
In the last how many years?
Like I said, in 2025, we had the worst annual job report since 2003, ignoring recessions. Since 2003.
How is that even? There's no way that's even possible.
It is. That's what happened.
Okay, what's the source?
Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think that last year we literally only added like 177,000 jobs to the economy. In a whole year. 177,000.
Okay. So, besides the fact that Trump did good during his presidency, his last presidency, not this one.
I don't even think he did that good during his first term. I'd give him like a D minus.
You don't? Okay, you genuinely believe that with the bottom of your heart?
Yes, no fucking shit. I mean, look at all the bad things he did. Like, literally trying to rig... Well, I can't say that on TikTok. coup our government. J6, okay, look at all the bad shit he did, like trying to unconstitutionally prevent any and all Muslims from immigrating into this country. Look at all the bad shit he did, like telling people to like ingest bleach to prevent getting COVID. Look at all the.
But what about all the good, like the pre-COVID?
All the good, like the Tax Cuts and Jobs
reaching
Act.
a 50-year low.
Oh, we actually had 3 of those under the Biden-Harris administration that you ignored. And we know that we can attribute that first 50-year low under the Trump administration to his economic policy, because the only economic policy he passed was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, in which we have different analysis done on it by Harvard economists, one on the right and one on the left, saying that it only led to around $60 billion being added to our GDP annually. And then we have another study done, but from a financial institution by the name of Brookings, that indicated it led to no new macro-level business reinvestment, which means it couldn't have created any new jobs.
I see what you mean. I'm trying to be open to your idea. I'm completely unbiased towards either side here, but I'm looking at the good Trump did in his last term. I'm looking at the fact that he's had 1 of his 4 years done. I'm looking at what you've pointed at that Biden has done under his presidency, and what you're pointing at that you think Kamala would have done under her presidency.
You should care a lot more about Donald Trump, like saying he doesn't give a fuck about the Constitution. You should care a lot more about Donald Trump saying that he doesn't give a fuck about states' rights and he doesn't give a fuck about Congress, and that he wants to nationalize elections, which is in violation of Article 2 of our of our Constitution, to then force voter ID laws, regardless if Congress were to pass them or not, which is in violation of Article 1 of our Constitution. You should care a lot more about Donald Trump, distancing ourselves from, our transatlantic partnerships by saying that he wants to invade fucking Greenland, asking the military to draft up a plan, which could lead to the end and termination of NATO as we know it.
Mm-hmm. I see what
right?
you mean.
Oh, and honestly, one of the worst things that Trump also did under his first term was pulling us out of the JCPOA, which was the denuclearization agreement with Iran.
I see what you mean. I'm taking all of this in. I'm just thinking of the last couple of points you've given me, man. Dean, how does what you just mentioned in your last couple of sentences directly affect me, like in my life?
Oh my God, yeah, no. If it doesn't directly affect you in your life, then you don't care, right?
Right.
Are you white?
No.
Okay. Are you black?
No.
Okay. So if Donald Trump tomorrow was like, "Hey, let's like re-enslave black people," that wouldn't directly affect you. Would you care?
But he'd never say that. I mean, of
But
course,
if he did, would you say that? Would you
I
care?
still think with moral, like I'm a moral human being. Of course, I'm not going to be okay with that. Of course, if I see the president of the United States come up with something like that, I'm going to lose respect and not want to vote for him again. Of course.
Right.
But when has he ever said something like that?
Right. Well, he's never said that he wanted to re-enslave black people. He's only violated the Civil Rights Act and refused to rent to black people at the properties that he owned in 1978, and then was sued by the New York State Justice Department for it. And not only a week ago, posted an incredibly racist depiction, of Barack and Michelle Obama as literal apes, monkeys, gorillas.
So you're going to point out that fact, but we're going to ignore the fact that he essentially led Black and Hispanic unemployments to hit record lows.
How did he lead it there?
How did he lead the Black and Hispanic unemployments to record lows?
Yeah.
I have no idea how he did. I'm just reading the facts.
The facts on the archived whitehouse.gov website from his first term?
Yeah.
How did I know? They could say anything on there? Like they could just say anything.
I mean, the same thing that you're looking at, you could put anything on there.
What
the record of bureaus that you're pulling your facts from, you could put anything on there.
No, you actually can't, because they have to follow strict and certain methodology to ensure that the data in which they report is accurate. When we look at like a whitehouse.gov, that's just where the president gets to say whatever they want. I would never even source whitehouse.gov for like a reason why I think that Kamala Harris would have made a good president. Literally never.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's just where they get to say whatever they want.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm gonna take in what you said, man. I'm genuinely, again, still open to looking at at both parties and everything like that, but I'm looking at, and I'm genuinely saying this in the most unselfish way possible. I'm basically taking all the controversy away from politics. That's my viewpoint on it. I'm not looking at the super deep, detailed facts. I'm not looking at, oh, Biden said this, so I'm going to hate him for this. I'm not looking at, oh, Trump said this.
I think it's okay to hate rapists. I think it's okay to not want a rapist to be president.
Trump has never been convicted of being a rapist. He's been accused, but he's never been found guilty.
He has been found guilty for rape in a civil court.
What's your source for that?
Yeah, for sure. This verdict form. Let me make sure I have the right one. Oh, that's... Sorry, I have a bunch of images preloaded from something we did on stream the other day. Give me one moment. Okay, that's also not it. Here we go. So here's a verdict form from a civil court that concluded in 2023, where they held Donald Trump civilly liable for sexually abusing a woman by the name of Miss Carroll. All 9 unanimous jurors agreed to this. Your first question is obviously, or your first statement's obviously going to be, oh, well, according to, let's see here, the first question, did Trump rape Miss Carroll? They selected no. Well, let me clarify on that. Miss Carroll testified to the fact that he forcefully penetrated her vagina with his fingers and then proved it, and the jury accepted it. But under New York state law in 2023, they legally defined rape as a penetration of the female member of the male member, meaning that technically wasn't rape in accordance with their law at the time. So they could only hold him civilly liable for sexual abuse. But because that form of sexual abuse is identical to rape, and the jury found him guilty of sexual abuse, therefore, the jury found him guilty of rape.
Okay, so I'm supposed to believe that source, and I'm not supposed to believe the source that I'm seeing online. And I'm genuinely just wondering why to believe that and why to not believe this source, because the source that I'm seeing is Donald Trump has not been criminally convicted of rape or
this is an official
or formally
court.
Found guilty in a criminal court of being a rapist. So the civil outcome case.
So first and foremost, the source that you're reading online is correct because this is not a criminal case. This is a civil case.
So it's correct.
Right? Because you're reading something that says he's never been found guilty of rape in a criminal court. True, because this is not a criminal court. This is a civil court.
Okay. So if you're telling me if I change the search and I put civil instead of criminal, it's going to give me a different answer.
Yeah, likely the first thing that's going to be popping up is a article from the Wall Street Journal that says, judge clarified, it is substantially true that Trump raped Eugene Carroll. Or you're going to find some like Republican media that's like, oh, it wasn't rape. He was never found guilty for rape because of what I just told you about it being sexual abuse instead of rape.
Yeah,
technically,
I don't go to Fox News, and that's why I'm not biased. I'm genuinely open to what you have to say as well. I've been sitting here for 3 guests so far, and I was here yesterday too when you were in a big conversation with the guy who basically said he was stuck as, I was there for that too. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I can't lie. So,
I forgot about that. Yeah, bro. We legitimately had somebody on this stream yesterday that they would suck Trump's dick, not in a gay way, but just because of how good of a president he's been.
No, it was a good debate. I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, so what do you see on your computer?
I didn't search it up. I just wanted to talk to you about it because you have good sources.
Okay, well, I showed you the jury verdict form. Like, do you accept the jury verdict form from the official court documents that I just showed you?
I'd have to look deeper, dude, to fully just believe that. I don't know.
I mean, dude, it's literally the end-all, be-all ultimate source. Like, it's the jury verdict form.
Okay, so this is going to be a stupid question, but I'm asking genuinely because I'm not super educated with this. If he's been found guilty, why is he not behind bars?
Because it's a civil court. So civil courts make people pay money. Think of a lawsuit. Criminal courts send people to jail. And there's many circumstances where people will be prosecuted in civil courts and not prosecuted in criminal courts because civil courts don't really have a whole lot of statute of limitations, yet criminal courts do. So let's say that you committed a crime like 30 years ago. In some states, you won't be able to get criminally prosecuted for committing that crime. You won't. Okay, and then the next best option for the prosecutors or for the victim is to say, okay, well, since I can't hold you and find you guilty in a criminal court so you could be sent to jail, my second best option is to pursue charges against you, litigation against you, instead of a civil court. A good example of this would be O.J. Simpson, the man that murdered his wife. He was acquitted in a criminal court because of mishandling of evidence, but the prosecutors and the world still knew he was guilty. So then their next best option was to take it to a civil court, try again without mishandling the evidence, where they then found him guilty.
Okay.
O.J. Simpson was found guilty of murdering his wife, but never sent to jail for it because it was a civil court.
Yeah, that's true. I was wondering about that. I appreciate you letting me know.
Yeah, so what's your response?
I mean, no, it's just something to think about for sure. I don't really have a response to it, but I'm just taking in the information.
Okay, well, I hope you take in that information and use that information to change your mind, Greg. I appreciate you for coming up. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. All right. Who's next? Everyone give us a minute here, y'all. Everyone just give us a minute here, y'all. We got the next guest loading up in the box right now. I'd actually really like to talk to a woman that supports Trump. Oh, we have Grace. Oh, Grace. Grace, hop back in that queue. Hop back in that queue, Grace. Don't run, bro. I remember you. You are crazy, Grace. You are actually insane. Oh my God, Grace is so nuts. She's absolutely insane, dude. She was up here the other day saying that she just doesn't care about rape. I forgot about that. I need to go find that clip. Hey, Luna, I appreciate you so much for the 12 euros over on YouTube Super Chat, who says MAGA supporters don't believe. Fetus.
What's up, nigger?
They were like actually 4. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, their parents failed them. Luna with the 12 euros says MAGA supporters don't believe that the terrible economics facts and Trump's unlawful actions and tactics about undocumented immigrants are true because of propaganda, proving Dean's first point. Yeah, man, there's so much propaganda that just infests the minds of people like that last guest. I appreciate you so much for the 12 euros, Luna. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for that love. Hi, Grace. Hi, Grace.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm happy you're going out after this. I've been listening for a couple hours, and about an hour ago, I've just been listening for a couple hours just to say this point. How come you kept saying that no one that's a Trump supporter wanted to talk to you when I had requested for like an hour? And I see you pretending to be on your phone like I was requested. I just want to know, are you lying, or is there something wrong with the TikTok app?
Grace, probably because I didn't see you in the queue.
Answer the question, Dean. It's not
and
political.
If I did see you in the queue,
tell me about...
I didn't remember that you're a Trump supporter. But when I usually say that no Trump supporter wants to debate me, it's usually like rage bait to get Trump supporters to join the guest requests.
But don't you think that that's misinforming other people? You already have a platform. Why are you lying to your supporters?
Well, I guess what I'd say here
that's
is
wrong. You already have. Hold on a second. Don't mute me. It's my turn. I'm already talking. You already have a platform. So why do you need to rage bait Republicans to talk to you? That doesn't add up. And now, did you read the article about you that came out today? Yes or no? I literally
an article came out about me.
About you. It's all about you. I will send it to you when I get off my phone because I don't know what happens when I exit out of this app because you tell billions of different things. But I Venmo'd you 10 cents so you would see. Dean, there's an article written about you with quotes. Hardcore quotes since the summer of last year. I don't know what month. Why don't you address that, brother? Stop deflecting. It's not even about politics anymore. It's about you. You got canceled today. Address it. Stop talking about being a graper or an oranger or whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about you misinforming 18 to 21-year-old Democrats. I'm not looking at that and I can't read it, and most people can't read it. What are you doing? This is my point. Doing your weird stuff. You're not answering. Answer. Address the article that came about you and address the fact that anytime that anybody, even if they're a Democrat, has something about Trump positive to say, you refuse to acknowledge it. And you won't even support Democrats. You don't even support Democrats.
What I'm trying
to show you support
here.
No one. You're negative. You just are a hater. Okay. You hate everything.
Can you stop talking? So I could start.
Well,
talking?
why are you muting me? Oh, so now you're doing this whole thing where you're not muting Grace? Just mute me. You do it to everybody else. Go ahead, mute me, Daddy.
What the fuck? Yo, this person is insane. Don't do that. That's really fucking weird. Anyways, when you search my name on Google and then you go to news and then you go to tools to ensure that it's showing recent results, she left. The most recent thing that's been posted about me was November of last year, after Charlie Kirk, Colorado college student, tries to balance debate with the possibility of violence. She just left. Why is Grace so crazy? Like, she's so insane. What the fuck is her problem, bro? Like, hey, respond! Refuses to stop talking. She's nuts, bro. Oh my god. Bro, literally just like, like, I'm just up here chilling, man. Listen, it's Valentine's Day. I'm in a good mood because I woke up and had a great breakfast with my girlfriend. We exchanged little Valentine's Day gifts. And I know as soon as I get off of here, I have plans to go get a dinner with. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. It's Valentine's Day. How could you blame me? But then we just have people like that come up here just like, bro, go crazy. Like, for no reason whatsoever. Moving on to the next guest, y'all. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Hi, do you support Trump? Hello? Nope, they left too. Okay. All right. Moving on right now, we got the next guest connecting into the live stream any moment here. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in the box. Oh, guys. Guys. Oh, no. Look who it is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Are you a Trump supporter?
You know I'm not. I made a video for you, Dean.
Oh,
It
I'm
might
sorry.
help explain.
But we're only looking to
Are you
talk to
vegan yet?
Trump supporters.
Are you vegan yet?
Well,
did you eat meat for Valentine's Day, buddy?
Actually, let me see here. Did I? Oh, I had bacon and eggs this morning, so yes.
Okay. So you're not going to be ableist today and call me crazy?
I'm not ableist if I call you crazy. That's
That's
not
ableist, buddy. Maybe dictionary, huh?
I disagree.
Maybe yeah.
No.
Well, you can disagree all you like, but it's ableist.
Listen, I
So
think
things only
that
matter when it affects
I think
you,
in many
hey?
senses, there's a negative connotation associated with the word crazy, like as it would exist as like a microaggression.
Yeah, well, that's why you call
against,
me
like,
crazy, to
against
undermine.
some people, right? Like in many other senses too. But like when I have like an absolute crash out joy in my life and just lose their shit and start screaming.
Yeah,
about my
look, it's
dead
about
dog,
the animals, Dean,
like,
not
you're
you.
crazy.
You're not the victim, okay? And I'm not crazy. It's not working.
Well, I mean, you just said that you were
Buddy.
the victim. Can I get a quick
No.
riff about you, since it's about the animals?
Both things can be true at the same
Well,
time, Dean.
could you say bark,
You're
bark?
trying to call me
Could you
crazy,
say,
so people don't listen to
bark,
me about the
bark?
animals.
Since you're
It's
the victim
quite
and animals
obvious.
are the only problems, could you go bark, bark? Since
So it's a
animals are the
joke,
only
is it?
victims, and well, no, you just said that animals were
Are
the
you
only
okay?
victims, not any human. So could you go bark,
Can
bark,
you be
bark?
mature, Dean?
Because you try to position yourself as a victim.
Okay, so what are you doing there making noises? Are you okay, Dean? What's going on? Can you be mature?
Oh, sure. I'll say it
Trillions
again
of
just to ensure that
animals
you're
are
able to
dying
listen
each
to this
year.
time.
You admitted
You said that you said that the real victims are the animals, not any human. Moments after attempting to position yourself as a victim,
Why
or
do you keep
labeling
muting me?
ableist for calling you? Because I'm in the middle of describing to you what I said that you misheard. So I'll just start from the top here real quick. So you said that the only
Can you stop
victims here are
muting
the
me?
animals, not any human. Moments after positioning yourself as a victim by falsely labeling me as ableist for calling you crazy. Obviously, the logical implication of these statements being true would therefore
Excuse me?
would therefore
How is-
conclude.
what- so
that,
it's not name-calling
you're
an
like
ableist-
a non-human animal, and I'm just asking you to demonstrate
bully, Dean.
that you're a non-human animal by giving us a couple of barks.
Look, mate, you haven't called out all the people in your comments using meat emojis again, being bullies.
Yeah,
You've got a toxic culture going on here, Dean. I'm trying to be
Let's
nice, and you just
ban
want to
them
keep outcasting me.
Do you
That's fine,
think
man.
that we should ban them all?
If you want to be a bully, man, that's fine. That's
No,
cool,
do you
dude.
think that we should ban all the
You can
people
bully
spamming
me.
the meat emojis in the chat?
I'll take
Should we
it for
ban
the
them all?
animals. That's fine, man. If it makes you feel better about the animals you eat, that's fine. I know you're trying to silence victims. That's
Silence
fine, man.
victims?
Yep.
Which ones?
The animals.
I want to I don't really want to silence animals. That's not
You
true.
do. That's why you're calling me crazy. So people don't believe me, Dean. It's quite
Wait,
obvious
what do you-
tactic. It's really
when
obvious,
when you
mate.
say silence the victims, talking about the animals, like what do you even mean?
You're trying to undermine me by calling me crazy, right? So
Oh.
people don't believe me and don't listen to
Yeah.
me about the animals, about the trillions of animals dying
I
each
can
year.
clarify here. You're not
Why
crazy.
do you think it's a joke, buddy?
Listen, you're not crazy because you're vegan. Like you're not
So
necessarily
I'm crazy for getting angry.
I'm in the
I'm
middle of my
crazy for getting angry about the
Sir,
animals.
I'm
Is that
in the
right?
middle. I'm in the middle of my sentence.
Wait. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't affect you?
Well, there you go. It looks like TikTok silenced you for harassment and bullying again. All right. Let's gonna get that next guest loaded up into the box, y'all. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. that guy is crazy too. Let's gotta get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Hi, welcome into Sport Trump.
Yep.
How old are you?
23.
Oh dang! Wait, you're like a real Trump supporter?
Yeah, why is that surprising?
Because like with every guest that I've had up all day, immediately like when they leave the live stream, you just start spamming W guest. Like I assume that you were likely a troll.
I told you the last time Anyway.
What did you tell me?
What do you want to know? Never mind.
No, what did you tell me, please?
It doesn't matter. What?
Okay, I'm gonna put you on mute just because of your dog barking in the background. I'm gonna thank a couple people, then I'll pass you that mic. Dude, Erica, thank you so much for the 28 Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat. I really appreciate you so much for that love and support, Erica. Show some love to Erica down below for the $28. Erica with the $28 says Canadian here. Prime Minister canceled his trip to the Germany conference to fly to Tumbler Ridge to support families of a recent school shooting. That's leadership. The leaders of the other political parties were with him. Yeah, man. I wish that we saw similar leadership from our president too. Thank you so much for the 28 Canadian dollars, Erica. We honestly have a lot of Canadians that tune in and watch the live stream. And man, I love that. Thank you so much for the 28 Canadian dollars. Over on Venmo, Trent, I'd like to thank you for the 62 cents, who with the 62 cents says you sit down to pee pussy. Well, Trent, I'm actually going to be taking that 62 cents. I'm going to multiply it by 100. And then I'll be donating it to Planned Parenthood in your name. So I really appreciate you for that incredibly kind donation of $62 to Planned Parenthood, Trent. That's very kind of you. Shannon, thank you so much for the $10. He says, spending my birthday afternoon listening to you. Thank you for all that you do and hope that you have a great Valentine's Day. Well, thank you for the $10, Shannon, and happy Valentine's Day and happy birthday. Tia, thank you so much for the $10. Who says, Dean, you're an inspiration. Thank you for what you do. Oh, thank you so much, Tia. That is TEAH. So some love to Tia down below. Michael, thank you so much for the $10. Who says, you do realize Grace and many others are just drunk, right? LOL. Does that mean that they're always drunk? I don't know. Jared, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Dude, Jared, thank you so much. And I've never played Grounded before, but thank you so much for the $25, man. Same thing goes to you, Peggy. Thank you for the $10. Then Jose, thank you so much for the $51 and the 50 cents. Thank you. Thank you so fucking much, Jose. I want to see 500 massive Jose W's down below in that comment section for such a level of insane love. Thank you so very much, man. Show some love to Jose for the $51. Jose with the $51 says, for Dean. It must be really hard to be MAGA. You have to be told who to hate and when to hate, and you have to choose what crimes to ignore and when to ignore, which conspiracies to accept and when. What a pathetic life. Thank you, Dean, for shedding light on such mediocrity. Happy Valentine's Day. I know, man. It would suck to be MAGA. Just always pissed off, but you don't know what you're pissed off at until Trump tells you, right? I'd also like to thank Rachel for the $5 over on PayPal. Thank you so much, Rachel. Sheba, thank you so much for the $10. I use Hims. Then A with the $5. Winster, thank you for the $5. Then Johnny, thank you so much for the $10. Happy Valentine's Day to yourself as well, man. And then Caroline, thank you for the $5. If you're watching and you're like, hey, I like this Dean guy, you want to support me, you want to support what I do, you can actually find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio everywhere, including in the link tree in the bio on TikTok, pinned message on YouTube, and the handles at the top of the phone screen. Let's go ahead and hop back into that debate. Take it away. Tell us why you support the worst president, most authoritarian, terrible president of your life, Mr. Trump.
Because he's anti-abortion.
Because he's okay, so he could do anything, and as long as he's anti-abortion, you'll still support him.
Hello?
So he could do anything, whatever he wants.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
My shit's
Yeah, bro. That's you getting fucking smited by God for your sins and against
Hello?
humanity, bro. Hi. Is God done smiting you for your crimes against humanity yet? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, you can't hear me. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hold on, something's wrong.
No, you gotta be trolling. If it's a troll, it's actually a pretty good one. If it's a good troll, it's actually a pretty damn good one. All right, if that's a troll, it's a good one. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in here. Santana, how we doing today? Welcome in, man.
Good, good. Hey, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, man. Happy Valentine's Day to yourself, bro. KK, how we doing? Do you support Trump?
I guess I'm on the fence. I wouldn't say that I support him.
Okay, KK. Well, I think if you're on this fence and you wouldn't say that you support him, the very best place for you to be is watching the live to hear me out for the points in which I make. That's the very best place for you to be. In fact, the majority of value extracted from this live would be for the viewers that are on the fence and wouldn't necessarily say that they support him but aren't really sure. So hopefully through watching the live, we're able to get you to clearly condemn Trump as president. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. Only up inside of the queue if you're an American adult that does support Trump. We're going to load you up here and we can have a debate. Dude, I just got 2 massive fucking donations from some very kind people that I need to thank real quick. First and foremost, Miss Amanda. Thank you so much for the $52 dono over on Venmo. Amanda, that is fucking insane. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A billion times over, Amanda. I want to see at least 500 Amanda W's. And Amanda just attached a message saying support. Thank you so much, Amanda. And then Jeff came in hot with the $100 donation over on Venmo. Fucking hell, Jeff. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you both for your kindness, your love, and your generosity. It's not something that by any means I deserve, and I genuinely do mean that. I genuinely do fucking mean that. Thank you both. I want to see at least 1,000 Jeff W's, 500 Amanda W's. Thank you both so very much for your support. And happy Valentine's Day to the 2 of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Is the connection a little bit better, Jack?
It should be.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so you came up here and you said that you support Trump because he's anti-abortion. So then I said, so he could literally do anything, and as long as he's anti-abortion, you'll still support him?
No.
Okay. All right. Could we get more than one word answers?
But what else am I supposed to answer to that?
Just say no, so there is things that he could do that make you stop supporting him. Like what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you have in mind?
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you have in mind?
Trying to illegally consolidate power to the executive branch and disrespect to states' rights, Congress, SCOTUS, and the Constitution.
I don't know what any of that means.
Dude.
I'm
this
serious.
This has to be a troll.
I'm not a troll.
Okay, let's just talk about your anti-abortion view. So why are you anti-abortion?
Because it's wrong.
And why is it wrong?
Because you're killing babies.
Okay, why is it wrong to kill babies, Jack?
What the hell?
Yeah, you want to call a fetus a baby? I'll fucking call the fetus a baby too. I don't care what words you use. It certainly doesn't change the question I'm asking. Why is it wrong to kill babies, Jack?
Because wait, are you serious?
Well, when you say baby, you're saying fetus. Yes, I'm seriously asking you, why is it wrong to kill a fetus? That is what I'm asking you.
Oh, a fetus. Because you're extinguishing the potential of life.
Okay. All right. So it is alive already, biologically. So it's not that you're extinguishing the potential of future life because it's already biologically alive. So is there something else that's going to happen in its future that you value?
Yeah, it's going to be born and live out the life that they have.
Okay. So you're basically saying any action that prevents a future person like you or I from existing is wrong?
Can you repeat that?
So you're basically saying that any action that prevents a future person like you or I from existing is wrong?
I would say mostly, not in every case.
Well, why wouldn't you argue that's in every case, considering the fact that that's a principle that you just gave us insofar as why you think that abortion is wrong?
Because I don't know all the possibilities. There might be some situation where that's permissible.
Okay, all right. All right, so then what's your principled view insofar as why abortion is wrong?
What do you mean by principled?
Like your moral principle in which you hold to always be the case insofar as why it's wrong to kill the fetus?
I just said that I didn't think it would always be wrong.
Okay, so you don't have any, like, then what's the argument that would, like, necessarily and always follow insofar as why abortion is wrong?
I just told you.
No, you didn't, because you just told us that your argument wouldn't necessarily and always follow, since there would be examples where your argument would apply that you wouldn't yield that therefore the action is wrong.
No, I told you you would be extinguishing the potential future of that life.
I know, so which is just the same thing as saying, right, any action is wrong if it prevents the future potential of a life like your life or my life from existing. But then you just said, no, Dean, that's not the case. There's many circumstances where that can occur, and I don't think it's wrong. So therefore, you're just special playing applying this baseless logic to abortion, where it could also be true in other scenarios where you wouldn't apply it, which is contradictory and illogical.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Yep. Fucking knew it.
All right.
Knew it.
Knew what?
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, tracking issue. I
Dude.
absolutely could see it.
Tracking errors on just like the base predicates of debate are things that I kick people over.
Yep.
Like when you are like struggling to track just like on a fundamental level of how your argument is faulty, because there's other situations where your argument is true that you don't yield the conclusion that that action is wrong. Like, I'm just going to save my brain cells and kick you. Moving on to the next guess. This guy's name is that white boy thug.
Yeah.
It's like a 12-year-old.
It's a kid.
Oh man, bro.
I thought he was gonna be B-Rad, and Dean, I know you have no idea who that is because that's before your time. But I thought it was gonna be B-Rad.
Let's go to move on to that next guest. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA, y'all. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. And bro, this literally just came through. One moment, man. Jenna, thank you so much for the $100 donation over on YouTube Super Chat. And dude, fucking Amanda, thank you so much for the $101 donation on Venmo. Jenna and Amanda showing up and showing out. Holy shit. Jenna and Amanda, thank you both so very much for the love. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you for your kindness. Happy Valentine's Day to y'all both. And Amanda with $101 says support, plus getting folks to step up. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. Genuinely, it means a fucking world. Thank you so much. And then Jenna didn't even attach a message to her love, but just sent the $100 over in Super Chat. Show some love to Jenna and Amanda down below, guys. Please, I want to see at least 1,000 W's for Jenna, $1,000 for W's for Amanda. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know why y'all choose to be so kind to me. Just thank you so much for your generosity, seriously and sincerely. I'd also like to thank Gabe for the $10. Thank you so much for that love. He says, I'm a little bit behind on watching the VOD, but I just heard Grace crash out. Yeah, that's insane. Thank you for the $10, Gabe. Haley, thank you for the $5. Then Jeff, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Jeff, this is to you personally. I'll send that original donation over. Okay, but that was just for the hater. It was a very special occasion. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
And how old are you?
I'm 20.
20? What year are you born in?
2005.
And why do you support the worst president of your life?
Yeah, because you're inconsistent. Why do you hold to subjective morality? What's that about?
Dude. Yeah, so Dean holds to subjective morality. By the way, I'm
you
agnostic on meta-ethics. Therefore, Trump is a good president. Best argument I've literally ever heard. So true. So how about this? Give us a legitimate reason insofar as why Trump is a good president, please, and thank you.
Yeah, you have no reason to tell me why Trump is bad. You hold a subjective morality. What are you talking about?
Wait, are you saying that every claim I make insofar as why Trump is a bad president is a normative claim of ethics? And by the way,
It's gonna
regardless
be-
of what my
its
metaphysical
base is gonna
framework
be
is, I can
founded
still make
as a-
normative claims, bro. What?
Its base is going to be a normative claim. Like the reason that's
Yes,
why,
exactly. A
the
normative claim, not a
immigration
meta. Wait,
fraud-
1 second. Exactly. The base is going to
I
be
mean,
a
you're
normative
right.
claim, not a meta-ethical claim.
Wait, well, can you repeat that? My bad.
I said the base is going to be a normative claim, not a meta-ethical claim. You could consistently have conversations about normative ethics without agreeing to or adhering to any particular meta-ethical framework. But even if I did hold to this meta-ethical framework of subjectivity, and even if somehow my meta-ethical framework had any input on my normative claims, which it does not in debates, I don't know how Andrew Wilson has convinced so many people of this, I would still be able to absolutely fry your ass, considering the fact that for the most part, I'm actually running internal critiques of your own view, which means that I'm assuming your normative framework, I'm assuming your meta-ethical framework, and I'm still proving in accordance with your own values why you shouldn't support Trump as president. Now, please tell us, what is your view? Why is Trump a good president? I will internally critique it in assumption of your normative and meta-ethical framework. Go.
I don't know why you're low-key dodging the debate. Like you have no reason to.
It says someone dodging the debate.
You can't tell
One
me
second.
why I.
One second.
chose
Can
to
you
support
read this?
Kamala.
Can you please read this sentence?
Yeah, that's gonna be illogical at base because you have no.
I was
reason
asking
to
the
tell me
question why you support Trump as president illogical at its base. Oh, listen, all that I'm hearing.
Any reason I give you,
Wait.
you can't
Wait,
refute it because
all that I'm
you
hearing.
don't support an. You don't even support an.
Wait, 1 second. Here's my first question. What is an internal critique?
Yeah, critiquing someone's position from like your own perspective.
From their own perspective, right?
Yeah.
So question, could somebody that holds to a meta-ethical view of subjectivity run an internal critique and show you why your view is inconsistent in accordance with your own norms?
Yeah,
Use your
sure,
faith.
but
Good. All right. So then give the position insofar as why you support Trump in accordance with your own norms, and I will internally critique it.
yeah, so but you can't really tell me my norms are gonna be all wrong. Like if I have norms,
I could
that
show
just
you how
seem
you're acting inconsistent within your norms, and that is what the point of an internal critique is. So please give the argument. Why is Trump a good president?
yeah, dude. Okay, if my
Cope. What's the argument? Why is Trump a good president?
Okay, if my claims for why Trump is a good president at its base is supported by my norms, you can't tell me that I'm wrong.
Actually,
Like
yes,
you can't
you
tell me
can.
my norms are going to be wrong.
Yes, you
even
can
if
yield
even if
conclusions.
it's consistent with it.
No.
Like
the point of an internal
my
critique is to point
normative
out is that
claims
there's
could be
not
abhorrent to
consistency.
you.
The
What'd you
point of
say?
an internal critique is the point that there is not consistency in between the conclusions of which you've formed and the premises in which you build to yield said conclusion in accordance with your norms or things in which you accept as true. That is literally the point of an internal critique. I
get it.
Your own worldview. So please give the argument. Why is Trump a good president? Stop running, stop dodging, stop pivoting. I will literally show you how you're wrong. I'll literally show you how I can internally critique your own view. Thank you so much. Why is Trump a good president? Go.
Yeah, I feel like you should give a look into my my normative claims first, though. Like
the question being asked is why do you support Trump? If you're just too scared of debating me on why you support Trump, that's fine. I'll just move on to the next guest. I'm used to people being scared to debate me, so you're good.
I mean, you already
I don't care.
lost. Like you have no ought. Like there's no ought there. So.
Right. So you're going to give us an argument insofar as why you support Trump or not? It's fine if you want to run. Like, I don't care. I understand that a lot of people are scared to debate me because I'm significantly more intelligent and better at debating than them. Like, trust me, I won't hold it against you. I won't use it to shame you. But that's kind of what we're doing here. Like, come on, man. You're on a show in front of like 15,000 people on TikTok, 5.4 thousand people on YouTube. Okay, the dodging, the pivoting, the winding, the coping, the seething. Okay, it's like all kind of embarrassing. It used to be fun to like say, ha, look at this Trump supporter. They're dodging, pivoting, winding, coping, seething, point and laugh. But anymore, it's just
yeah,
kind of
you just
embarrassing
repeated that.
because it's like whatever guest does. But let's try to hear an argument here that I can internally critique. Why is Trump a good president? Either take that mic and run with it and give us a reason, or I'm just unfortunately going to move on to the next guest. With the ducking, like I said, very embarrassing. Shame.
Yeah, Trump's just gonna follow with my morale basis.
Okay, why?
Yeah, it's gonna be axiomatic. It's just gonna follow.
Oh, it's just gonna follow. It's just axiomatically true that Trump is a good president.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just an irreducible truth that Trump is a good president.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, it'll just fall, and you can't say anything about that.
So what is the support for the claim that is irreducibly true that Trump is a good president?
What? I don't have to give you a justification for an axiom because it's literally by definition self-evidently true.
But we're asking you for justification that it is self-evidently true.
Can you please repeat that? Like, there's no way you just said that.
Wait. So you're arguing that it is self-evidently true that Trump is a good president?
Yeah.
Wait, what if I said that it's self-evidently true that Trump is not a good president? Are we just
you need to You need a normative basis, and you don't have one. Like, you just admitted that.
Yeah, no, so true. All right. Well, considering the fact that you just think it's self-evidently true that Trump is a good president, so how do you consolidate the fact that it is apparently self-evidently true that Trump is a good president with a counterclaim that Donald Trump is, like attempting like further like fascism and authoritarianism in America by an attempt to illegally consolidate power to the executive branch of government, regardless of that's like violating the Constitution in accordance with his violations of the 14th Amendment, 10th Amendment, 22nd Amendment, First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, or Second Amendment. Or attempting to like erode the foundation set forth in like Article 1 or 2 of the Constitution, in accordance and in adherence with like attempting to take power away from Congress to like pass legislation by him saying that, well, we're just going to nationalize the elections and pass voter ID laws, even if Congress.
This is kind of a load. This
and so forth.
This is pretty loaded. I mean, you're giving like not even one predicate.
Do all these things? Do they interfere with like the self-evident truth at all that Trump is a good president?
Well, I'll respond to one. First of all, Trump's not a fascist, obviously, and even if he was, you don't even have a you don't even have a.
One second.
You don't even have an.
So how do you feel about him like consolidating power to the executive branch?
Listen, if you think about it.
How do you feel about him like illegally consolidating a power to the executive branch?
Yeah, that's not going to be indicative of him being a fascist.
Well, I'm just saying, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that he's illegally consolidating power to the executive branch of our government?
No. I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that wasn't a yes or no question. It's a Dean. I think
yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, I do.
Tracking error.
It's not a tracking error. I changed my mind.
No, it'd be that you'd be saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing. It wouldn't be a yes or no question.
I just said yes. Like,
but dude, the question is, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that he's doing this? Dude, tracking error number like 15 and a half, bro.
You don't know what a tracking error is, but whatever.
Yeah, it is. No, I do know what a tracking error is. Like, obviously, right, you're committing like a tracking error when you're answering yes or no to a question which is not answerable with a yes or no. It'd be a tracking error due to the fact that it's a category error. I'm happy that I could educate you. So it's a good thing that he's consolidating power to the executive branch of our government. And what's your support for that claim?
Okay, can you tell me, first of all, what a synthetic
I don't understand why you're pivoting. What's that?
A synthetic truth. You've engaged in meta conversations this entire debate, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, that's meta conversation. You're certainly pivoting away from my question. So, would you like to answer my question? What is the support for the claim that it's actually a good thing to consolidate power to the executive branch of our government and erode our Constitution?
So that claim is just going to follow axiomatically from my normative basis.
It's just going to follow axiomatically. It's just going to follow axiomatically. Well, when it follow axiomatically from your normative views, because remember, axiomatic truths are self-evident ones, not evident because you would follow from your normative view, dumbass. Another tracking error. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Another fucking... Dude, what is that? What is that? Like the 12th tracking error so far? You just said that an axiomatic truth would follow dependent on something else.
Yeah, it's self-evident based on the
wait. You said that it would follow from your normative views.
So based on my morals. It's like, what?
We're going to go move on to the next guys. Only opposite of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president.
You enjoy those dweebs way too much.
Yeah, I do. Because they're fun. They're fun to fuck with. They're really fun to fuck with.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the next guest, Calvin. Here we go. Hey, welcome in, Calvin. Do you support Trump?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Well, we're just looking to debate Trump supporters, so you take care. Moving on to the next guest here, y'all. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We got Priscilla Florence, too, loading up into the box. How do you support Trump? Okay, bye. Moving on to the next guest, only up inside of the queue of your MAGA. Thank you. We got Protocol 3 loading up into the box. Bro, we're trying to get anybody up here to debate us on why they support Trump. Very hard day. How do you support Trump?
Hello.
Yeah, you told me to stop running in that comment section. Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay, interesting. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest here, y'all. Only opposite of that queue of your MAGA, please. How many times do you think I've repeated that so far today?
A lot.
Many, many times. Yeah, many, many times. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, do you support Trump because it's just self-evident, axiomatically true that he's a good president?
Yeah, I don't know what that guy was like. What is meta-ethics?
Don't worry about it.
Can you explain to me?
So, meta-ethics, they're basically where you think that like moral claims come from, not necessarily why you think something is right or why you think something is wrong, but rather where you think that rightness or wrongness come from. Now, what are you doing right now?
What?
What are you doing right now?
Like literally, what are you doing?
My couch.
Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. He just tried to pull my couch. My couch. Dude's on the fucking toilet.
It sounded real echoey in his living room.
Yeah, it was real echoey in his living room. Dude, oh my god. Dude, L. I think your name is Lavita. Lavita, thank you so much for the 100 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. Lavita, thank you so fucking much. That is so incredibly kind of you. I would really appreciate it if everybody watching could please show some love to Lavita down below in that comment section for the 100 euros. Lavita with 100 euros says sending some support from Germany. Bro, I wish I could be in Germany right now. I wish I could be in Europe. You know, I've never been, and I really want to fucking go, especially just to, you know, escape.
You haven't?
No, never been. I want to momentarily escape the chaos of what we see to be true in America. You know, like I would love to take a vacation to go to see Spain, go see Norway, go see Switzerland, go see Germany, and just like, you know, take a couple days away from, you know, the madness in America. Truly, I would truly love that. But seriously, thank you so very, very much. One moment. Thank you so much for the $100, Lavita. Hello, Ruth. Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
I'm 62.
What year were you born in?
1964.
I'm sorry. You were very clearly over the age of 18. I don't know why I asked you that question. It was just kind of like
that's
automatic.
not very nice. Okay, thank you.
Well, no, listen, I'm very clearly, well, I guess maybe, Santana's very clearly over the age of 18.
I am.
But, you know, that wouldn't be me calling Santana an old man. So
No,
I
it's
apologize
okay.
if that came off as disrespectful.
No, not anyway.
So take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
Because I think I've never been into politics. I mean, my parents were both military. Even though they served, my brother served. I just never understood. To make a long story short, okay? I'm going to tell you why I am a Trump follower and not a Biden or Harris. It's because the choice that we were put up against, I didn't agree with.
Okay. All right. Dude, I'm getting some shit for saying, once again, I apologize for saying that you're clearly over the age of 18.
okay.
My YouTube chat is eating me alive. Now, just to clarify, your argument is that you thought that Kamala Harris was just so bad that you had to vote for Trump. And why? Like, I don't know, man. Why is that? Like, what has Kamala Harris done to truly cement herself as an irredeemable candidate for the president that should never be supported ever again, right? That aren't true of Trump, but exacerbated tenfold.
I don't believe Trump. I don't believe that Biden was capable at the end of running our country. I don't agree of what he did with Afghanistan and how we got the people.
Okay, but remember, we are talking about Kamala Harris here.
I understand, but Kamala Harris was involved with that during Biden's administration, correct?
Involved with what? Not involved like with his like mental degradation and senility.
Well, yeah, she was asked. She was asked many a times, is he capable of running? Do you feel that he's clear enough to run?
No.
Correct.
The question was, do you feel like he's capable of serving as president while he was president? You should absolutely answer yes in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes,
should
I agree.
obviously answer yes in that scenario as the vice president. Okay? Right?
Right.
If the president's mental capability is being questioned, okay, and they're not like really doing anything like damaging to the country, it's just literally old age, so not like Trump literally using his mental degradation to destroy the country. All right? Then you should very clearly and always answer yes to that question for the betterment of the country. All right?
He wasn't even capable of
you don't
making
want like a
speech.
divided administration where one person in it is saying that the president is literally incapable to serve, and they're not actively working on invoking the 25th Amendment, right? Like, because there wasn't sufficient reason to invoke the 25th Amendment about Biden, then yes, Kamala Harris should have answered yes to that question. But if you're concerned with lies, there's, like I said, no bigger liar that has ever served as president than Trump. He single-handedly told the largest lie that any sitting president has ever repeated, and he's repeated it about 1 billion times with his lies about the 2020 election. And on top of that, he lied over 30,000 confirmed lies in his first 4-year loans, and he tells a new lie every single goddamn day now. So if you cared about lies, and that lie is why you would never support Kamala Harris in about 1 billion years, okay, now that's also why you should never support Trump today. But guess what's worse than lies? Murder! And what did Trump defend? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, you're talking about lies. With Kamala Harris, she wasn't even able to she wasn't even able to answer questions without deflecting off of what Biden did if she was to become president. She said many of times she does not agree with what Biden did. Am I right?
I actually think that she said that she agreed with a lot of the domestic policy of the Biden-Harris administration.
A lot, but not all of them.
I'm not familiar with what she disagreed with what Biden did. Like, can you be more specific? And how is this relevant to why you support Trump?
Because I just said I don't believe that we were given Kamala Harris was going to be capable with what was going on in the world, with all of the open borders, with all the confusion that was going on. I don't think Kamala Harris was the person to help us get out of that.
Okay, I'd say she's much better than Trump. What is Donald Trump's response to the borders? His response isn't to close them. His response is just to scare new entry away by violating the human and constitutional rights.
Well, he wouldn't have had to do that if they would have closed them. He wouldn't have had to do that if they didn't open the borders, correct?
Oh, how do they open the borders? Tell me.
By saying it's okay to come over?
No, the only person who said that was Trump.
Stopping anything?
No. The only person that said that was Trump. Let me be clear. The only person that said it's okay to come over and you could do so without being stopped and you could just swarm into a country because the borders are wide and open was Trump. Trump was the one swinging from Fox News to Newsmax to all the alt-right media channels and stations and his own social media for years, saying that the borders are wide and open and you could come right on through. The Biden-Harris administration never said that.
Was that even a thing before Biden was as president? Did we have different problems with the border?
When you talk about the history of our country and the border, yes, there's always been a back and forth battle with the border. But hey, Ruth, do you remember what they used to call Barack Obama?
No, I don't.
The deporter in chief. Have you heard that before?
Oh, okay. Yes, I understand. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ruth, so they used to call Barack Obama the deporter in chief because he had a negative immigration rate, meaning that he deported more people than he let into the country, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And you and I can agree that there was a border crisis that was happening while Biden was in office, right?
I think it was more of a crisis. It was an infiltration, but
okay,
yeah.
So there was an infiltration while Biden was in office. Okay, perfect. So if you and I can agree that Barack Obama, right here, was the deporter in chief and he had a negative immigration rate, but then Joe Biden, there was a crisis right here. Mm-hmm. Is there something that happened in between the Obama administration and the Biden administration that would have caused the crisis at the border?
Yeah, I believe it had to do with Biden, and I do believe
wait, no. It was already happening. We agreed it was already there.
But
remember, it was a crisis already in Biden. What happened?
Me.
Was there something that happened between the Obama administration and the Biden administration? What happened in between those two administrations?
The election.
What election?
That they wanted, if Biden was going to stay in or stay out, they wanted.
No, Ruth, you're talking about afterwards. Again, you and I already agreed that under Obama, kick them all out. That's what he was doing. Under Biden, they're all here.
Right.
What happened between kick them all out and they're all here? Is there anything happened between those two times?
No, I don't know.
Was there? So it was just like a 4-year gap. Like nothing happened in between those 4 years.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come up here. I wanted somebody else to tell me that
the Trump administration, Donald Trump literally created a self-fulfilling prophecy, as Dean was just telling you about. Donald Trump told everyone at the top of his lungs that there was a border crisis and that people were coming into the country and it was wide open. And even though that wasn't true, he ran on that. He told everyone that. And so once these countries start to be destabilized, they remember Trump saying, oh, the U.S. is wide open. The border's wide open. Let's go to the U.S. because Donald Trump said it's wide open. And so they start to come into the country. And even if you take a look at the actual country and you take a look at the crossings, the only thing, Donald Trump had such a hard time at the border that he begged Congress to give him money to build the wall. And they said no. And he had to go to the Army engineers and take money in order to try to build the wall And if it wasn't for COVID, if you take a look at the border crossings and the numbers prior to the pandemic, they were skyrocketing. So Donald Trump created a problem, and they all started to come because he said it was open.
I don't know. I watch the news. I watch different channels. I try and be educated. I saw those people coming over, crossing the border, jumping the walls. I saw them handing kids over. It breaks my
Ruth,
heart.
why was it always a caravan that came right before the election, but as soon as an election happened, the caravan just somehow mysteriously went away? Why did they always just kind of disappear after the election, and Trump never talked about the caravans? He always talked about the caravans before the elections, but after the elections, he never mentioned them again.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I came up here to say I am for Trump just because I don't like the way that the world was going. When I saw Biden not able to speak, not able to sit up, not falling asleep, it was a scary situation.
I think it's much. Listen, I think it's much more scary today. Still having a president that's mentally incompetent, like completely, bro. Like, let's just get that one straight. That instead of like not being able to speak or sit up, sometimes is like rather shitting his pants in the Oval Office than turning around and asking the military to draft a wartime plan for an invasion of one of our allies to destroy NATO and disappear our transatlantic partnerships, regardless if that's allyships through trade or allyships through military cooperation. Just saying.
Okay, I understand. Do you know people that are active duty right now and in the military? Have you been around them? And do they say that they feel safer right now or not?
Oh my God, bro! Significantly less safe, man.
See, I don't get the same thing from that. They say they feel a lot safer as now than underneath the Biden administration.
Yeah, so I have a really good friend who's getting ready to retire. He went into the Army the same time that like he and I graduated high school, and he's been in the Army the entire time, and he's been able to progress throughout his career in the Army. And the point that he told me, the biggest difference that he experienced under Trump versus under Biden is the fact that they're unsure as far as what's getting ready to happen. There's always a sense of not only having to be in the field as far as training, but there's never any sense of peace as far as like stability. And that happened under Donald Trump. And so people that are within the military feel like they always have to be at the ready because they don't know if it's going to be Donald Trump waking up one morning and he's just upset and, to Dean's point, decide to draft war plans against an ally.
Could it be that he's upset, or he's just coming in not telling everybody what we're going to do?
No, he's very emotional.
I understand he has an ego. I get that. When I lived in Florida, okay, just for one instance, okay, we lived in Florida back when everybody was trying to come over from Cuba. People were dying in the ocean, kids, Elian, I don't know if you remember all that stuff.
Yeah, I do.
I saw that firsthand, what that does. So I'm saying from the people that were coming over here that I really truly believe, I've never seen anything like that many people coming over, crossing over during Biden's administration. Before that, I never saw that until that happened. And I see what it does to families. I'm not saying what ICE is doing is 100% correct. It's not. I don't want people being baby snatched from their, parents snatched from their babies and all that. I'm not for that. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that Biden didn't have anything to do with that and didn't promise people, we won't send you back if you come over here. Same thing with.
When did he make that promise?
His whole thing was through his whole time of being a president. They were coming over.
When did he say, if you come here, we won't send you back?
Why didn't they send him back then? Why didn't they stop him?
But you just said that he said that, Ruth.
Well,
where did you get that from?
From the news.
What news? What news do you watch, Ruth?
I watch CNN. I watch Fox. I watch them all.
CNN. Stop it, Ruth. You don't have to tell me the borders.
I do.
Don't fib, Ruth. Come on now.
Come on. I'm old enough to know not to fib. I don't fib. I watch both.
Okay.
I watch both. I've never seen such a thing where they're all coming over here. I just think that now that there's a problem and Trump's trying to clean it up, everybody's against that. That's how I see it.
What if I told you that Donald Trump hasn't done anything that overwhelmingly positive or that benefits the quote unquote issue at the border. He hasn't addressed it. And the only thing that he's done is hurt America even more.
I see that both sides too. I see innocent people, murders running around here too, where, that Lincoln, other people are getting killed by immigrants that were over here illegally.
No. We're not even talking about immigrants. We can talk about the fact that mass deportation costs about $98 billion. We can talk about the fact that ICE is violating the Constitution. We can talk about, like, now the Supreme Court has given them the okay to racially profile. We can talk about American citizens being literally shot in the face, or we can just talk about the fact that they are so ineffective in their job that they've had to change the requirements, and now they're being infiltrated by people who are part of different hate groups like the Boogaloo Boys, the Oath Keepers, and the Proud Boys. So it's literal white supremacists joining this for hateful means. So, like, there hasn't been anything overwhelmingly beneficial to what is happening. And then even if you take, let's say, like Minnesota, they're now pulling out of Minnesota, not because they were quote unquote successful, but because, like, they murdered multiple people and they've gotten so much of a backlash that they have no other choice. So, like, Ruth, what good is happening?
There's nothing good, and that's why my heart hurts so bad, and that's why I just want the best for everybody, and I don't know who to vote for. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what's right or wrong, and that's sad.
Ruth, one thing that I would say is I hear you say that you watch CNN and you watch Fox News.
I do.
And the one thing that I'll say is that legacy media, while I still think there is somewhat of a place, legacy media has been compromised. Legacy media is not only compromised by big business, but they are driven by their ratings solely instead of the truth.
Absolutely.
And so what I would recommend is that you stay places like here in Dean Space and other spaces, places that, have, like, journalists that try to give you direct and real information, that cite sources and that actually push you to critically think.
That's why I'm here.
Yes.
That's
So,
why I'm here.
Ruth, what I'll say is, like, your support of Donald Trump, especially today, like now, like the complaints that you had about Joe Biden, it's literally Donald Trump. Question: did you ever actually see Joe Biden sleep in public? Like, literally sleep in public?
Come on, I saw what you saw, and it was.
No. I'm not talking about them calling him Sleepy Joe because he was never around. I'm saying, did you ever actually see him sleeping in public?
I saw him stumbling off the stages, going the wrong way.
But did you actually see him sleeping in public, Ruth?
I've seen his eyes closed, yeah.
No, stop it, Ruth. You didn't.
Yes, I did. Come on,
Okay,
I did.
Tell me when, Ruth. Tell me when.
I believe it was watching they're at I don't know what type of event it was. They were at an event. He was sitting next to Kamala Harris, and he was nodding off, and she was hitting him.
I feel like that's a fib, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Ruth.
Fib. I don't.
That's okay. That's okay. How many times have we seen Donald Trump falling asleep?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times.
Not a couple of times, all the time. Like, literally, the things that you're saying that you had a problem with Joe Biden is the same thing that Trump is doing. He can't complete sentences. He gets lost. He apparently continues to use the bathroom on himself, so much so that people around him are reacting to the smell. Like, Donald Trump is doing all these things that you said that you hated about Biden, and more.
But you see him out. For a while, you didn't see Biden at all. Completely just out of the picture.
Just seeing him doesn't do anything for us. Just because he's out and about, what good does that do for America if every time he comes out in public, he says things that are incoherent? Like, he went to speak in front of the UN and he started saying that we wanted Iceland, right? He was talking about Greenland, but he kept saying Iceland, and he caused an actual national panic for Iceland because they didn't know if he was actually talking about their country or the country that he had been talking about. That's a huge issue.
Yeah, I guess we just got to pray. That's all. I guess that's my religion, is my government, But I like listening to Dean. I don't have any against anybody. Everybody has right to their opinion. I just want somebody to tell me things that I don't understand, because I see what's happening, and it's a sad, sad world. And that's all.
I'll leave you with this last thought, Ruth. If you want someone to talk to you and tell you about things that you don't understand. You're going to have to be willing to actually engage with the truth and with reality. And like the worst thing that anyone can ever do is lie to themselves. And when you see what's happening, if you're unwilling to actually look at it and engage, and you're telling yourself that you see something happening, even though it's not, then you're lying to yourself, and that's super harmful. So if you want someone to tell you the truth, if you like listening to Dean, like, of course, that's why all of us are here. Like, you have to be willing to actually engage with the things that he's saying, and not just say, well,
I'm
no.
not sleeping anything. I'm here. I'm not just saying that it's Trump, Trump, Trump. I'm here listening to you. That's why I'm here. I thought it's in my head that I didn't like Biden, and I saw what I saw. You're saying I didn't see what I see, so that kind of makes me, I know I saw what I saw. But if you have different opinions, I mean, that's what it's all about, is talking it out and seeing who's right and who's wrong, and coming to a medium, right? All I'm saying is I see a lot of things that I don't like, but I don't know what the solution is. That's why.
I would just say, like, if you actually believe something, then you should have like a basis for your beliefs, right? If you say that you believe something, then you should be able to say, like, this is why I believe this, and here's the proof.
I didn't like where things were going when Biden was in. Okay, so who do I take that up with if I don't like what's going on?
Can you name one tangible thing, like one actual quantifiable thing that was like negative under the Biden administration?
I don't like what happened with the abortion. I don't like what happened
with the abortion.
It's the how
Roe was overturned?
Yes.
Who appointed the Supreme Court justices that got Roe overturned?
Yeah, that was Trump. Yeah. I don't know. All right, I appreciate you. I'm going to keep listening, okay? And I appreciate your time. And I guess I got some research to do. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ruth.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, bro, I thought that you did so well. There wasn't a moment in there where I thought I'd hop in.
I
of just how ladies, like great you were talking to her.
I had such a close relationship with my grandmother before she passed away. I used to like talk to her every single day. So I like genuinely enjoy older people. And it just kind of, it bothers me how they can be propagandized and kind of like weaponized. And like, it's a huge issue for me.
Yeah. Kirsten, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Hi. I think so.
Are you driving?
Yes. No.
You're in a moving car there.
My 15-year-old daughter is driving, but we're pulling into the parking lot.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Nah, you have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you so much for coming up. I appreciate you so much for coming up. She's on that learner's permit. It'd probably be best to be paying attention. Let's go to move on to the next guest here, y'all. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Everybody in the comment section is saying 15. Yeah, bro, 15.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, you isn't that crazy, though?
I want to say, brother,
What's
keep
going
on
on?
spreading the good word, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, isn't that crazy that, like, 15-year-olds can, like, drive on a permit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel safe. One of my nephews just got his license, and he's 15. So,
wow,
or learner's permit or whatever. Holy smokes!
Yeah, man, I didn't get my permit till I was like 16. I think I held it off. Like I waited a couple years, bro. I regret that so much. Like I was already pretty young for my grade. Like I started college at 17 years old, and like I like got my driver's license, I think like right after my 17 and a half or so. Yeah. So, it kind of sucked. But anyways, welcome in. What's going on? Leah, do you support Trump?
Hell no, but please don't block me yet. And also, no, I'm not driving.
I'm sorry. I do have to block you, quite frankly, because we are just looking for Trump supporters. But I hope you take care. Let's go to move on to the next guest, folks. If you are watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio everywhere, including the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Pin message over on YouTube. Y'all already know it. Top of the phone screen with the handles. Welcome in. Same thing goes for Santana, by the way. His pay links are in the link tree in his bio. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
33.
All right, man. I'm going to take a quick second here just to thank a couple people, and then we could hop into the conversation. I do see that, Kirsten, you're back in the queue. It sounds like, you may be busy because you said that you were driving. I will happily have you back up here after this guest if you do happen to be in the queue, because it sounds like, you're probably, like you said, that you're pulling into a parking lot. But anyways, I want to thank a couple people here. Alex, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Alex. Darian, thank you for the $10, who says, appreciate you as always, Dean, a Valentine's Day gift for Momo. Oh, yeah, I'll have to get something for Momo. That's a great idea. Thank you for the $10, Darian. Show some love to Darian. Ashley, thank you for the $10, who says, my husband is deployed on an aircraft carrier right now. No, we do not feel safe. Yeah, and that's what we hear from a lot of people in the military. And then Michelle! Holy shit, that is Michelle spelled Mechelle. Show some love to Michelle down below in that comment section for the $100 donation over on Venmo. For the trip to Europe. Michelle, thank you so very much for the love. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the $100. I want to see 1,000 Michelle W's and 2,000 and W's for the $200 donation over on PayPal. Once again, also saying this donation is for your trip to Europe with a lot of love from Quebec City. Dude, Anne in Quebec City. Now. Yeah, I gotta go now. Michelle and Anne, thank you both so much for the love. It's insane. As I always say, I don't get it. I don't deserve it. I appreciate y'all for your kindness and your generosity. Show some love to the goats, Anna and Michelle, down below in that comment section, please. Same thing to you, Leslie. Thank you so much for the $25. Who says, Happy Valentine's Day, Dean. I hope your girlfriend and you have a pleasant date. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think that we're going to have a good dinner, and thank you so much for the $25, Leslie. Same thing goes to you, Joseph. Thank you for the $21. Who says, watching you light that match must have been the most fun I've had this week. No, but honestly, love what you do. Keep on doing it. Sending love from Australia. Thank you for the $22, Joseph. No, man, listen, that was the most fun I've had in like a month, because this fucking matchbook, bro, I've been trying to get a match from this matchbook to light for like the last 6 months, and I finally got it to light, bro. That's been a long time coming.
Is it old, or why is it lighting?
Yeah, it's pretty old. It's a really old matchbook. And that's why. But thank you so much for the $21. I'd also like to thank Timothy for the $10. Thank you so much for the love. Britta, thank you so much for the $10. Then Shannon, thank you so much for the $5. Rachel with the $5. And then Casper, thank you for the 10 cents. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Huge shout out to y'all. Over on Super Chat, Luna, thank you for another 12 euros. Thank you so much for that love. All right, man, go ahead and take it away. Tip, tell me and Santana how the hell you still support the worst president of your life, Mr. Trump.
All right, so I only support like a few things. That's about it. Like, I like how like blunt he is as a president. I feel like the last ones have been more so like not as like blunt and standing like, like he's not scared of any other person. He doesn't fear.
I think the way that his bluntness shows through is actually very damaging to this country, since he's usually pretty blunt in how badly he wants to like end like the necessary global alliances that we're a part of.
All right, and Dean, I've been watching you for a minute, right? Because I'm trying to get more educated myself. I'm not the best at it, but I'd like to probably, hopefully, maybe get my views changed.
Okay, for sure.
I did like Obama. I didn't like the Biden and Harris one at all, and I'm not like huge for Trump. At the same time.
Well, how about this? I think the first thing I want to do here is try to push you off of your support for Trump. And let's see, like, what do you care about? Like, what's something that Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him?
So I don't like all the allegations he's got on him, and usually when I know concrete proof on things, I typically can be swayed because I don't like the allegations on him at all.
Do you know what I'm showing you?
Not exactly, no.
So this is the verdict form from nycourts.gov, where a civil court determined that Donald Trump raped a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll in 2023.
Yeah, see, I consider those type of crimes kind of like unforgivable,
Yeah, as we all should. We should all consider rape unforgivable. Absolutely.
Like, I can get past other crimes because I get everybody's not perfect. But like that crime is just it's like an unforgivable one for me,
Yeah, absolutely. So is that unforgivable for Trump?
No, it's unforgivable for any human. I don't care who you are, you know?
Perfect.
Like,
So does that kind of push you over the ledge and you are no longer a Trump supporter?
for the most part, yeah. But now, like, I have like no idea what to maybe vote for in the future now because I don't know anything about any future candidates.
Yeah, and that's when we get into the harm that the Trump administration is causing. I'd like to first focus on their consolidation of power to the executive branch of our government. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the rule of law. They don't care about federal law. I mean, the DOJ under Trump has literally broken the law over 1 million times to illegally redact Trump's name from the Epstein files, as confirmed by Congressman Jimmy Raskin. Not to mention their other violations of the Constitution, including Executive Order number 14160, where they try to repeal birthright citizenship for citizens. That was crazy. Or their violation of the first article and the second article, trying to take power away from the states and quote-unquote nationalize elections, or saying that like he has the ability to pass law without Congress, like the voter ID law. Like that's also crazy. And like wanting to like start war with our allies, protect the predators inside of the Epstein files, defend the murderers that murdered Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Like these are all like really bad and indefensible things that the Trump administration is culpable for. And the only people pushing back right now are the Democrats. So we need more progressive voices in Congress to ensure that these illegal, unforgivable things that the Trump administration are doing can be limited. Hopefully we could get him impeached. And, we return to a country with a rule of law and social and moral fabric. And I'd say that is the very best and most compelling reason to be voting for Dems come the midterms.
Understandable. I'll do some more research into that one. What, to my understanding, I've seen you since like when you were on Jubilee, but I think I've also heard you say that you used to be Republican. I think it was.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what your story is a little bit on the swap there?
Well, January 6th is what did it for me. January 6th is when I made the first recognition, regardless of what my thoughts are on Trump's like economic policy. Maybe I even still thought it was good at the time. That Trump could never be an effective leader because of how divisive he is for the country. Like, he divided the country on January 6th, unlike any other president I've ever seen in my goddamn life. All right? Launching an attack on core American values, our civil and electoral processes, having his supporters raid the Capitol, turning them in to domestic terrorists, trying to kill cops on the steps of it, then to smear their shit inside. Okay? Literally on the walls. They're actual human feces on the walls. That is the most anti-American, most disrespectful, and most divisive thing I have ever seen a president do. No joke. No fucking joke. J6 was it for me and many other Americans. And the fact that that's not something that we reflect on with shame, the fact that that's not something that Donald Trump reflects on with an apology, but it's rather something that Donald Trump still defends until this day, including blanket pardons of everybody who stormed the Capitol, broke down the walls, broke the windows, tried to kill cops like DJ Rodriguez, flew the Confederate flag or smeared their shit on the walls inside, is why even though it happened 5 years ago, it should still get you to stop supporting Trump today.
No, that's just too extreme, man. Like,
exactly, it is just too extreme.
It comes to a point where you can only forgive so much bullshit, from one individual.
Oh yeah, no, I get you, dude. I mean, I was really young, and I recognize this.
You're younger than me, even.
Really fucking young. I was like maybe like 15, 16. I don't want to do the math. I was really young at the time, and even at the time, I was able to recognize that that's it. I will never support a president who stands in such strong and stark opposition to our civil and electoral processes, who wants to walk over our historical buildings, our Congress, our fucking Capitol building, with having his supporters kill cops, or try to kill cops on the steps, then to smear their shit on walls inside and then call them patriots. Okay? He thinks you're a patriot if you try to kill our LEOs and smear your literal human feces on the walls inside of our Capitol. And I can't get on board with that. I can't.
Yeah, I agree. And with the last lady that was on here when you guys were talking about the military stuff, or if, like, who felt more safe under what ruling, I don't know what it is like for where you guys are from, you or Santana, or in your current cities, but everybody around me in the city I'm in, which is Coeur d'Alene. Sorry if that's doxing myself, but everybody I know here doesn't want to join the military now at all because they don't want to be militarized by Trump at all. Like, they don't want World War III. They don't want none of that.
Yeah, bro. I mean, he's deploying troops in Venezuela to take out their leader. He wanted a plan to deploy troops in Greenland to, like, destroy NATO and take their country. He fucking, sent troops over to Iran to bomb the bases that were making nukes that he allowed to make nukes by pulling us outside of the JCPOA. He threatened military action against Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, and a billion others. Like, he's deploying the National Guard illegally in states to fucking, harass protesters and innocent people. He's having ICE agents fucking murder people in broad daylight, then defending them as patriots and calling the murder victim, domestic terrorists. Like, hell yeah, bro. I wouldn't want to be in the military either right now.
All right. Well, Dean, I think you swayed me a little bit, I'm going to do a little bit more research. Do you have any specific candidates that you'd like me to check out?
Yeah, you know what? James Tallarico. Check out James Tallarico. I'd say that if there's any Democrat that you could agree with as somebody that's right-leaning, it'd be James Tallarico. Check him out, okay?
Because I don't lean neither, typically far left or far right. I kind of, pick and choose ideas that I like from both sides.
Yeah, what I'd say is that check out James Tallarico and then listen to AOC. AOC is so fucking intelligent. AOC, dude,
Awesome.
She's so cool. Check out AOC, genuinely. She actually gave a speech today at the 62nd Munich Security Council in Germany. Please check her out. She's great. Okay, and Bashir, he has some good things to say. Jasmine Crockett, she has some good things to say. I think that there's a lot of people that have some good things to say.
Yes, as well as you and Santana and Parker. I've been in all three of your lives. I just haven't popped up except for this time. I've tried, but
I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. All right.
Oh, you as well, man. I did just give you a tip 2 on PayPal.
Oh,
so
it's very kind of
have fun.
you. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate for the good conversation, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Man, I would love to see AOC run for president. I'd vote for her. I'd vote for AOC.
I think she is. That's my candidate. I knew she had it when Parker and I went and saw her and Bernie in LA, and hearing her speak in person, bro, amazing. I've been hooked ever since then.
Yeah, man.
Crazy good.
I've never really listened to her that much, and I've always had very neutral view on AOC because I've never listened to her, and today, I actually really listened to her for the first time. I listened to maybe an hour of what she had to say for the first time ever. Now I'm sold, bro. I'm sold.
Put her in that telling you, that's exactly what happened, because I never really listened to her before then. But then as we were there, and listening to her in person, because of course I was there to see Bernie, but listening to her, I was like, holy fuck. She is so good.
Yeah, man. Plus, it's listen, if Kamala Harris ran for president against J.D. Vance, yeah, I'd vote for her. If Gavin Newsom ran for president against J.D. Vance, yeah, I'd vote for him. If Pete Buttigieg ran for president against J.D. Vance, I'd vote for him too. But God, if we could get an AOC up there, I would vote for them with a fucking smile on my face. Really.
I'm gonna send you a text. I sent this to Parker a while ago because I wanted to send it to someone for proof, so I can hold on to it. But I'm gonna send it to you so you can know what I'm thinking. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I'm holding on. I need people to have this so I can be like, I said that. I said it first. I need proof, so I'm gonna send it to you.
Dude, yeah, bro. Feel free. Guys, honestly, so I have a dinner reservation at 5:45. Right now it's 5:20, so that means I have a dinner reservation here in 25 minutes. Thankfully, it literally takes me 2 fucking seconds to get ready. I just go and throw pants and shirt on, and my girlfriend's already been getting ready, so we're good. But, we're probably just going to spend a little bit here just kind of talking to the chat and whatnot, and then I'll probably get off. Real quick, dude, Jay, thank you so much for the $75 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for that love. Happy Valentine's Day, Jay. That is so fucking kind of you, my friend. Jay, as per usual, you've been supporting me forever now. Just know that I love you. I know that I'm so grateful for you. Show some love to Jay. Same thing to Tiffany. Thank you for the $10. She says, I love watching your lives while playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But I lost a game watching you. Try to light that match. Man, dude, I used to love Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. I used to love them. And then Tess, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much for the love, Tess. Show some love to Tess down below in that comment section, and I'll definitely consider that. Thank you so much for that love, Tess. Yeah, we're really gearing up for midterms here. We'll be talking a lot about that. Thank you. Thank you so much for that love, Tess. And then Top, I appreciate you for the $10 over on PayPal. I just saw that now. Thank you so much. Man.
I have 3 quick ones if you don't mind.
Dude, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
For everyone else who's been sending donations, if you check your pay links, I've been replying directly to make sure we can speed it up. But 3 that I want to call out really quickly. Evelyn, thank you so much for the 7. You're amazing. Daniel, thank you so much for the 1. You're absolutely correct. And massive, massive, massive W's in the chat for Tracy, who sent a $50 donation. Said, you have kindness and patience and a tolerance that's beyond admirable. I don't know about that. It's just certain people I try to extend that to. But thank you so much for the love, kindness, and support.
Hell yeah. Santana, you have any fun plans for Valentine's Day?
Yeah. We are going to see one of my favorite comedians. I'll have to tell you who it is on the back end because I don't want to give it away. But if I did, but we are my wife is literally cooking my favorite meal right now. We're not going out to dinner because I'm a little spoiled. No one, I don't eat meals out that's as good as my wife's cooking. So I don't like eating out.
I feel you. No, listen, I've had that experience too. There's there's a dish that I make, for instance, a steak.
Yeah.
I think that my fucking ribeye is better than any steak I've ever got out,
Yeah.
And there's been very rare special occasions in my life where I've got to experience pretty damn nice steak out. I'm very grateful for that. But it just even pales into comparison to what I've been able to pull off, So I feel like you could do that. You could really nail a dish down that maybe just necessarily takes a couple hours to make. Regardless of how you do it, it takes a couple hours. And because restaurants are focused on high turnover rates, they're not going to have you sitting at your table for a couple hours. They're going to find a way to cut corners, even if they're super high in restaurant, and it's inevitably going to taste worse. So I feel you there, bro. I completely feel you there.
Literally, she's cooking ribeyes right now.
Oh,
the entire smell is just
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm so excited.
What's the process? What's the process?
Oh, I have no idea. I just listen. Ever since I met my wife and I got married, I used to think I could cook, right? But then I tried her cooking and realized I don't know shit. And so now, hey, you need me to do anything? Do I need to take the trash out? You want me to wash dishes? That's my role. I just let her work. She's amazing.
Do you know if she does the ribeyes in the oven?
She does.
Yep, that's it. That's what I do too.
Yeah.
In the fucking oven. Reverse searing. Okay.
Yeah.
Reverse searing your steak is the very best way to do it. You put the oven at, a 185, 190. All right. Then you let the meat come to temp. You throw it in the oven, pre-seasoned. You get it up to 10 degrees under your target temperature. You pull it out. You put a nice sear on it in a flat iron or sterling silver. Or no, it's not sterling silver. What the fuck am I talking about? I personally do, cast iron. Yeah, I do cast iron, and then I put a little bit of compound butter on it, and oh man, it's better than just the straight sear because you don't have that gray band. It's better than even on a charcoal grill. I don't know, man. It's the best way to do it. So I am not surprised that you're telling me that you like your wife's reverse seared ribeye more than anything at a steakhouse.
It's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited, and again, the smell is just insane. It's the entire place is just filled with that. So I'm just waiting. We're gonna have that, and then we're gonna go do something fun, and that's our evening. So I'm excited.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming up. I am actually at this point in time going to go and end the stream, and I hope that you have a great dinner and enjoy your Valentine's Day, dude.
You as well, bro.
Yeah, take care. Somebody in the YouTube chat says stainless steel over cast iron. I'm back and forth. I really enjoy my cast iron. I want to get stainless steel, but stainless steel, a nice stainless steel pan is very, very, very expensive. Very expensive. So I've been sticking with the cast iron. Someone else in the chat says, OMG, professional chef here. I need therapy after that. No. Bro, Devin, as a professional chef, you should know that reverse searing the steak is the way to go, bro. It's a way to go. All right, folks. I hope that you all enjoy your Valentine's Day. If you have a partner, spend some time with them. Enjoy your evening. If you don't, show yourself some very special self-love. I'll see you all tomorrow. Make sure to hit that follow button on your way out if you're over on TikTok. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Drop a like. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your evening. Peace, love, and good night.